Good Saturday afternoon. We are live here at Allen E. Paulson Stadium for another exciting night of Benedictine football. Thanks for being here with us on Watch BC Sports. I'm Kevin Thomas. Alongside me, Christian Gokel, as we are at the Irk Russell Classic, and Benedictine participating in that this year. We are glad to have you along here on Watch BC Sports. They're playing Radun Gap out of the way North Georgia mountains up near the North Carolina line, and they've come down to Statesboro to participate in this ball game here tonight. There's another ball game after we're done, so a full evening of football here at Georgia Southern for the Irk Russell Classic. But BC coming in after a win in the preseason, if you want to call it that, and they beat Camden pretty solidly, who turned around last night and played a Brunswick team and beat them 51 to was 51-41. So much better offensive showing from Camden than they saw. So that could be a number of things. Either BC looked really good offensively, and Camden's defense not so much, not very good, or that BC defense, and I think that's probably more the case, was very, very good. But good to have you along here on this Saturday evening as we roll along here in the Barnes Catering pregame show. Pit Cook Barbecue since 1975, barnesrestaurant.com, the place your next catering order. And if you want to take it on the road, say to Allen E. Paulson Stadium. barnesrestaurant.com is where you need to go. Christian Gokel, I mean, big-time atmosphere. That shouldn't bother anybody here for Benedictine. This group of seniors has played in Miami. They played in Charlotte last year. They've played at Georgia State. Played in some big-time atmospheres. Georgia Southern, just the next big venue. I guess they've become accustomed to playing fast track, just like they have at home with the artificial turf. But kind of an unknown, a team from way up in the North Georgia mountains that has a lot of talent. Just a lot of people don't know a whole lot about them.
Yeah, it's interesting, Kevin, a team that actually plays North Carolina football teams, and it's just geographically that makes sense for them because, like you mentioned, it is right on the border up there in the North Georgia mountains. A beautiful part of the country there,
Sure.
Kevin. And I think what's so significant about this game is you have two very distinguished Georgia football programs coming in here to play this game, but at Paulson Stadium, it's a place that I think is kind of the center of football south of Macon. It's kind of the mecca that you come to, and we hear every coach that comes in and coaches at Georgia Southern talk about, hey, just draw a 50, 60-mile radius around this school, and you got a bunch of dang good football players. Benedictine certainly falls into that category, right down the 16 for BC, just a quick drive up here, and a beautiful facility. They've done so much work. I mean, we were talking, Kevin, you look out towards the water tower there. Now there's this big structure out there. They have the indoor practice facility. I don't know if you really call it indoor practice facility, covered practice facility over there, but just it's been interesting just through the years to watch the stadium grow into what it is now, and just the players that have played on this. One of our good friends, Adrian Peterson, the amazing runs that he's had on this field, and just the outstanding football players. Bryce Baker, former Benedictine cadet, we've seen him walking around the stands, a freshman for the Eagles this year. So a really cool area to come, a great stadium, a great atmosphere, and I think the Irk Russell Classic, that means something in the state of Georgia.
Absolutely, and again, named after obviously legendary head football coach for Georgia Southern, started the program here, Irk Russell, former Georgia defensive coordinator on those Junkyard Dogs teams. So obviously a way to honor him, and kind of the South Georgia way to start off high school football. This is on a Saturday. Most everybody got started last night, Christian, but these teams pushing it back one day for the Irk Russell Classic. So we come into this ball game here, obviously last week. If you want to take anything away, Christian, I would say defense for the guys they lost looks dang good. It looks really good. Offensively, Stephen Cannon looks the part, and doesn't seem, I know he couldn't get hit, but doesn't seem like there's going to be a whole lot of drop-off. Maybe some touch stuff that we saw with Gerner and Cromenhawk when they first were getting their feet wet as a starter, but by and large looks the part.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, last week, I think it was a better look at our offense than it was the defense. And speaking to Coach Britt about this at the Danny Britt show this past Thursday, it was very simple from Camden, and you could tell they were just working those RPOs out to the side. They were popping. I mean, I think the most telling stat is Ellis Williams, the big tight end they had, didn't have a catch against BC. He had 3 touchdowns against Brunswick. They were not running their offense against Benedictine. They were working on what they needed to work on and saving it for that Brunswick game. So defensively, however, for Camden, I thought BC was able to take advantage of them, and Obviously, giving up 40-plus points last night to Brunswick, maybe there's some holes. But we saw BC able to run the football. They were able to get some pass plays in, a couple of wheel routes. But again, very vanilla stuff that you're used to seeing from the Cadets. I don't think it's going to look overly similar to what we're going to see tonight. I think Stanley Smart's going to touch the football a whole lot more for the Cadets tonight. Coach Britt has said he can be a 1,500-yard back, which in the NFL, that's impressive. In a 10-game season in high school football, that's really impressive. So I think you're going to see something different tonight. But to your overarching point, yeah, I think BC stacks up really well with pretty much anybody in the state.
Absolutely. And again, defensively, they're going up against a good quarterback tonight, a good tight end that has a lot of D1 offers. And again, that's a precursor to what they'll see next week, where you have D1 guys all over the place when you play Buford. But defensively, it didn't really look like they missed a whole lot of a beat. Now, we will say pregame some word that no Mekhi Williams tonight. Doesn't seem like it's a big to-do from talking with the coaches and folks, but not going to play tonight. And, I think Danny Britt has said it as well as any coach in the state of Georgia. Look, these games are nice. These games are big. They need Mekhi Williams for weeks 5 through 10.
100%.
Not necessarily weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you want him to be as healthy as possible. But it's our understanding he is not going to play tonight in this one against Raven Gap. But defensively, the back four looked good. Linebackers, Larson Little was certainly looked the Wilkes Albert's part there. And up front, Cam Cody slides inside, and you've got beasts on either side. Their third Scroggins. I mean, they just have more guys. And defensively, there's a reason why when you walk by Galen House and he smiles all the time because he's like, hey, I got dudes that can go out and make plays. And I think for the first time, potentially, Christian, I'll get your thoughts, in the 3 or 4 years that we've seen him, and then some years prior to that, this might be defensively a little bit deeper than they've been at a lot of spots, where before you're double timing guys, offense, defense, and that may happen again just because you want athletes out there. But in terms of, you can roll some twos in there at a number of spots and not feel too bad about it. There's not a lot of high school teams that can do that.
Yeah, and I think we were speaking to some people before the game where we got the Mekhi Williams news that he's not playing tonight, and they said only guy that's going both ways. So they said it was like, dang, that's going to really impact us because he's a big-time wide receiver, and obviously maybe the best or probably the best defensive back in the secondary for the Cadets, playing that free safety spot. But the fact that he's the only two-way guy tells you about the depth that they have, and I think that's been on purpose. I think as these guys have been young, they've kind of filtered them into positions. We talked about Stanley Smart playing just running back. It's not, hey, let's see if we can play linebacker too. It's like, no, this is a 10'6" guy who weighs 195 pounds, who we just need to focus on letting be a really good running back. A Larson Little, he's going to come over and play both sides of the football a little bit. But for the most part, he's going to be the inside linebacker, and that's what he has to focus on. And I think the smile that you see from Coach Houston and Coach A.J. Phillips there, the offensive coordinator, has a lot to do with the lines of scrimmage. Cam Cody able to slide in there and replace just some really dynamic guys that moved on at the end of last year is huge. I mean, how many times do you replace a 300-pounder with a 300-pounder, right? And then on the outside, you got Third Scroggins, who's going to be an outstanding college football player. And I think what's cool is talking to them this year, he's going to be playing that outside linebacker spot in the 3-4, where his job is just to create havoc in the backfield. He's going to be disciplined. He's going to set an edge, but his job is to just blow people up, big tackles for loss, create havoc, make the offense get off rhythm, out of time, and turn the football over. So, yeah, I think across the board, you can really rotate some guys in. And speaking to Coach Britt this week, it's what they're going to have to do to navigate this gauntlet they have coming up and get to the end of the year healthy with the guys they need. I think the bench probably gets shorter when we get into region play, but they're going to use this time. If there's a guy who's right on the edge, he's going to get a chance. And we just got to see if he can make a play.
We're rolling right along here in the Barnes Catering pregame show. Pit Cook Barbecue since 1975. BarnesRestaurant.com to place your next catering order. We're coming right back here on Watch BC Sports.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook. At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
Welcome back here to the Barnes Restaurant pregame show. And Christian Gokel, we're here at Allen E. Paulson Stadium getting ready for BC and Raven Gap. We don't know a lot about Raven Gap. They have some guys that are widely recruited. Quarterback's got a number of offers as a junior, much like Mr. Cannon here for BC. Tight end, that's good. Look like lines of scrimmage should be able to match up fairly well. But again, one of those schools that you just don't know a lot about, because as you said, they play in the North Carolina league up there in North Georgia, much like we've seen some schools close to South Carolina play in the South Carolina League. We've seen teams in Savannah actually play in Skeeza and things of that nature. So when you think about traditional powers in the state of Georgia, Raven Gap's not a school you think of.
But it's a name you always hear. It's a name you always hear peripherally, though. It's like this team is a really good football team. Or on signing day, you hear a bunch of guys being signed out of Raven Gap, and you're like, I don't know if I saw them play this year. So, because they're playing in North Carolina. But an outstanding football program. And if there's something we do know about them, watching their games from last year, 13-1 last season, just really, really good football program. And it's these guys go to this school to play football and to be a part of that program. Obviously, great education up there. But really, you look at these tight ends, you look at these offensive linemen, you're 6'5", 300 pounds. He probably came in to play football. So you got some guys who are getting some really good coaches, really good instruction up there and are part of a program like we've seen with BC. If you can get in early and be a part of the program, that's really going to allow you to develop more as a player. So what I'm interested to see is we don't know. It's kind of like conferences in college football. We don't know the transitive factor, what that's going to look like. It's okay, they were 13-1 last year, but what's that level of competition looking like? You know, I don't know that I really care. If you're 13-1, you're 13-1. You're probably a pretty dang good football team. And then they passed the eye test coming out here, Kevin. Some wide bodies out there, some really tall guys. They got some speed. So I don't think BC is going to have a huge physical advantage tonight. Now it's just going to see who can win the battle of the line of scrimmage and who can win their one-on-ones.
If you don't think you can match up, you don't take this game, right? I mean, you don't agree to come down here. It's a long drive to get down here to Paulson Stadium from up there. But again, interested to see how BC matches up kind of initially. I know Coach Britt talks a lot about the first series or two of each half and kind of how it dictates how that half potentially plays out. And I think that's important. If you can go 3 and out, 5 and out defensively in that first series, I think that's huge for you defensively, and then kind of see what you can do. And I think when I talk to Danny Britt a lot, and I know you're doing the Danny Britt show this year, so you're going to hear it a lot too. Usually when I ask him to scout how they match up against a team defensively, he's like, doesn't matter. We worry about ourselves offensively.
That matters.
He plays it off. He's like, we do what we do.
Yeah.
We'll find what works against what they're doing, and that's what we're going to do. But we're basically we're going to run our offense to how it fits what they're doing defensively. And so I think when it comes to that, as you said, in the scrimmage, you're going to see buck sweep. Yeah. You're going to see some of those quick bubble screens that BC's kind of come known for, and probably early, just to kind of see how the defense reacts to some of the things they're doing.
I mean, BC does what they do, but if there's a 5-star safety on the other side of the field, they're probably not throwing to that half of the field, right? On the flip side of it, the defense, if they have a 5-star receiver who has Tyreek Hill speed, you're probably putting a guy over the top of him, right? So you do have to adjust for the team that you're playing, and that's why you scout, and that's why you coach. You have to do it within the realm of what you are good at, though. BC is not going to come out as a 4-3 team one week, a 3-4 team, and then a 3-3-5 TCU style defense the next week. They're going to make small adjustments, but it's not just we're going out there running base and listen, we're just going to pound our head against the wall and see if it works. No, they're going to make adjustments on the fly. But I think with this team, what you really have to watch out for is that size right up the middle. They got a big quarterback. They have some big-time offensive linemen in the middle, and they have a big 6'5" tight end that they can run right in the middle. So you can do a lot with that, and obviously some really talented guys. A lot of guys committed to some ACC schools. I believe a corner that's committed to Syracuse who's going to play both ways there. So they have athletes they can get the ball out into. I think it's going to be kind of like looking in a mirror for a lot of things. BC doesn't have a 6'5" tight end that they can throw the football to, but a lot of athletes they want to get the football to in space. It's who can tackle in space. And like you mentioned, who can force the 3 and outs, get the ball back when you're supposed to. And I think for BC, replacing Mekhi Williams tonight, it's don't give up the big play. Keep everything in front of you, and then if they get inside the red zone, bend but don't break.
We're rolling along here on the Barnes Restaurant pregame show. And Christian, we didn't talk about it a lot last week, but now that the season is officially here, you see some of the preseason polls. Now we'll see another poll come out next week. But you have 4 teams from BC's region in the top 9 of 4A. And Ware certainly has looked the part. They look good against Appling last night. I think Warner Robins was in a tough one last night. I didn't see the final of that one late. Perry's defending state champ. Burke County, I think, is the forgotten team in this region. People were
better not.
People were like, "Oh, Burke County,"
yeah.
But you kind of forget about that a little bit as well. And I think week in and week out, this is going to be some great football. I think it wasn't all that long ago, Christian, that we saw teams would come in and play BC, and it'd be 47-0 at halftime, and you'd be like, "Okay." I mean, you're not going to see that a lot this year.
No, and Danny Britt said that's what they want to avoid when they're making the schedule. Is He jokes, he's like, okay, maybe I could have put one on there, like for homecoming or something like that. But every single week, you're going to have to bring your work boots and your hard hat. It's going to be a difficult kind of football game. And honestly, there might be some games this year where you see BC on the other side of that. And it's not because you're not as good of a football team. It's just when both teams are really good and the ball rolls your way, you could be down 28-0 really fast. It's the way it goes. So they're going to have to navigate the schedule, but it's going to be relying on all the experiences you've had these past 3-4 seasons, winning back-to-back state championships, making it to another deep run of the playoffs last year, falling to Stockbridge there at the end, an excellent football team who goes on to play in the state championship. So you stack those experiences and you stack those players and all of those snaps, and all of a sudden going on the road and playing Ware County 4 years ago, we're playing Ware County on the road. Now it's another football game. And so it's all of those stacked experiences, and it's part of setting the standard, like Coach Britt likes to say, and building this football program. You want to play big football games. All the games this year are big football games.
And the projections are you might play Ware County twice,
right?
If you are to believe all of that prognostication that's taken place. So we've got a lot more to come here on the Barnes Restaurant pregame show. Teams should be returning from the locker room here in just a little bit, and we'll be getting ready for the first game of this Irk Russell Classic, Benedictine and Radun Gap. We're coming back with more here on Watch BC Sports.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook. The honor, the heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBCSports.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Vernon Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Island's Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Island's Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back here to Alan E. Paulson Stadium as we get ready for game one of the Irk Russell Classic. It's BC and Radun Gap. We're glad to have you along here on Watch BC Sports. And I'll tell you here in the pregame, again, the Barnes Catering pregame, Pit Cook Barbecue since 1975. If you're out and about in Savannah, support all the folks who are helping us bring you these games on Watch BC Sports. If you see them here during the broadcast, hear us talking about them. go out and support them, saying thanks for what you're doing with BC Athletics and helping us bring you BC Sports here on Watch BC Sports. Couldn't do it without them, and come to wonderful places here like Paulson Stadium for a football game.
I mean, can we talk about just how cool some of these sponsors are? Obviously,
Absolutely. Free
Barnes
range.
Barbecue to start, outstanding. Like, all the food's good. But, I mean, I'm looking at some of the food in the commercial, and I'm having trouble up here. Built by Islands Ace Hardware, right? Again, I talked to Coach Britt about this. You can just walk into Ace Hardware, get lost for a little while. You don't need anything, but you're looking at the tools.
You're coming out with something.
Yeah, you might need something. I'm walking out with something. And then we got a new sponsor this week, Kevin. Joining a BC cadet owned here, alumni Josh Mallard played football at BC, went on to play at the University of Georgia, and has now started a company here in Savannah and the Atlanta area called Stacks Firewood Delivery with like premium. You have 48-hour kiln dried, smoke pest free, free delivery, hassle free. So you get a stack of wood delivered to your house of premium firewood. So just some outstanding sponsors, and it's cool to tie it back into the BC and the Savannah community, and we could not do this without them.
Absolutely. BC Brothers moving the chains.
That's right.
On the first downs, attorney Jonathan Dunn, Bernard Williams, and more. So if you see them here throughout the broadcast, go out and support the Cool Vibes Pizza. Go out and support those folks and tell them thanks for helping support what we're doing here on Watch BC Sports as we get ready for tonight's games. The captains for Radun Gap have come out. We're still waiting on the cadet captains. And again, if you are just joining us here on Watch BC Sports, no Makai Williams tonight for BC. I think it's one of those things, in talking to the coaches, if this were week 10, he's probably playing, but it's week 1, right. Long season. They're going to hold him out for precaution and get him ready to go for potentially Buford next week and bigger games down the road that certainly mean more once you get into region play. But other than that, you came out of the scrimmage healthy and ready to go here in 2024 officially. So about as good a shape as you can be. I think Coach Britt said, hey, we're going to look at the tape this week and come up with, Christian, for the bystander and you and me, that scrimmage went about as good as you could have hoped in terms of getting a lot of guys in, getting plays on tape, running your offense, looking clean, not getting injured, getting off the field, and getting ready for this game. That was everything you would have hoped it would have been.
Can I be the Debbie Downer?
Sure, go ahead.
I really struggle. And again, it's Camden's choice what plays they call. And They came out and they played a football game. But they did not give you a look at an attacking style offense.
Sure.
Everything was east and west, and it was just working on bubble screens. BC, if we're talking about an area they really didn't get a look, it was downfield passing, being attacked there. And honestly, I'll say you didn't get a look at downhill running either, which those are both these staples of good high school football, is the ability to run the football, and then when you're running it, hit the passes downfield. So I think that remains to be seen. Now, your objectives for a scrimmage, get in, hit some people that aren't your color jersey, and then get out healthy. Those are your main objectives. But if you want to nitpick something, it would be that they didn't really get a great look offensively. But outside of that, I mean, I sent some people some text messages last night because you're like, maybe Camden's not good. They lost 23-0 to BC. Like, is BC good? Or maybe Camden, new coach, maybe they're not so good. Then they go hang a 50-burger on Brunswick, a team that went undefeated in the regular season a couple years ago. Right. A really good football program.
They did have 3 drives of less than 5 yards in that game, but yes, they legitimately put up 31 and had 3 touchdowns of less than 5 yards. But it looked a whole lot better in week 1.
But I'm just saying, you put up a 50-burger. I don't care how you do it. That's impressive in high school football. So taken away from that, BC, I think, has a chance to be a really, really special football team. I don't think we learned that from the Camden scrimmage. Maybe it's just a little confirmation bias. But to me, it's the eye test. It's the guys who, like a Thurr Scroggins, who's been playing since he was a freshman. Now we get to see the fulfillment of all that potential this year. He's got the body. He's been in the weight room, right? The Cam Cody sliding inside to play nose tackle. You get a Stephen Cannon coming in, who is an outstanding talent at quarterback, probably been playing for a couple of years already, but had to sit behind Luke Cromenhawk, who's down at Florida State now. BC has all the makings of a really special football team. Get a chance to start it tonight.
And tonight's Debbie Downer moment brought to you by Christian Gokel.
But
I'm excited to see. Like I said, there's a difference in scrimmage and now getting ready to line it up for real in a game that counts. I think Camden had the same kind of objectives that BC did. Let's get some things on tape,
right.
Not get hurt. You certainly don't want your big tight end hurt in a preseason game. Get out of here, work on what we were poor on, and go play next week against Brunswick. I think that was no different for BC. Let's come play against Radun Gap, and certainly they've got a lot to prepare for next week with Buford, who they'll get the Wolves coming off a loss after they got beat last night by Walton Christian Gokel. So that's a Buford team. Milton, excuse me.
So very good.
Very
North
good
Atlanta
program,
football team, yeah.
So they're coming off a loss, so it'll be interesting to see how they respond. Captain's out here on the field. They're walking towards midfield for the coin flip. Looks like it's going to be, and I wish they wouldn't tuck the numbers under the jerseys there, but third Scroggins is one of them.
Larson Little.
Is that Larson Little?
Yeah.
And going to be Paul Thompson, one of the offensive linemen. And that's why I was wondering if it was Larson Little. Usually it's always seniors, and it is not Larson Little. It's
the tuck numbers.
Michael Hogan.
The tuck numbers get you every time.
He pulled down the jersey so we could see 8 now. So it's Michael Hogan, Thompson, and third Scroggins, your 3 captains tonight for BC as they get ready, wearing their maroon pants, gray tops, and maroon helmets. And this is as Christian Gokel said, the broadcaster's nightmare, because you start sweating in these things, and that maroon and gray just bleeds together, and it comes very hard to see. Whereas the far side, Radun Gap, gold helmets, white tops, gold numbers outlined in black with the gold pants. So good color matchup tonight between these two teams for whatever's that is worth. So
it's worth a lot.
Can you win the uniform matchup to start? It's always top of mind for everyone. So captains coming out here. It'll be interesting to see. Last week, BC won the toss. Yep, scrimmage. And I think went on defense first. And it's kind of been what they feel comfortable with week to week, season to season. I know the first championship they won, they were very comfortable with the athletes. Hey, we want the ball because we're going to go put points on the board immediately. Last year's team, they kicked the ball because they knew they had a good defense. Offense was good, but hey, let's get off the field, put the ball in our offense's hands, and get after it. Interesting to see if they win tosses, kind of what that comfort level is and where they decide to go.
Unless Stephen Cannon comes out and throws the football for 300 yards, I think Danny feels very comfortable with his defense right now. I think he's going to put them on the field first. Listen, you got a senior Luke Kromenhawk, you got a senior Holden Gerner. You're going to put that offense out there and say, hey, let's go score some points. I think the thought process right now is probably, hey, let's go out there and put our best foot forward, which right now is the defense.
Coin toss happening right here at midfield. We'll stick around and see who wins. Then we'll step aside and get you ready for the kickoff here at Paulson Stadium. Handshakes all around as they're going through all the pregame stuff there at midfield. But a beautiful setting. Had some rain about an hour ago. Obviously, it doesn't matter here, but it made it muggy.
We couldn't let Raymond Gap come down here and not experience some humidity, so we scheduled some rain.
So it happened, and then now it's nice and muggy out here at Paulson Stadium. But I don't know that we're going to get any more rain here tonight in this one, so we should be good to go. I know talking to the folks that have done Irk Russell Classic before, they're like, hey, we almost always have a lightning delay when we get to this thing. Did you say I had
BC,
my head down at my notes?
You're good. BC won the toss, elected to defer.
And now they're just choosing what side they want to go on. So BC going to kick the ball off. When we come back, that'll do it for the Barnes Catering pregame show. Pit Cook Barbecue since 1975. Go to barnesrestaurant.com to place your next catering order. Kickoff, Radun Gap, BC, coming up next here on Watch BC Sports.
Tradition, honor, a culture of excellence. This is Benedictine Cadets football, built by Helpful Islands Ace Hardware, your locally owned and operated Ace Hardware. Tonight, live from Paulson Stadium on the campus of Georgia Southern University, your Benedictine Cadets take on the Radun Gap Eagles, the Irk Russell Classic. Now, here's your hosts, Kevin Thomas and Christian Gokel.
And the Cadets run on the field as we get ready here for the Irk Russell Classic. Kevin Thomas, Christian Gokel here with you for another night of BC football as we get ready to start the 2024 season. And Benedictine football built by Islands Ace Hardware on WatchBCSports.com. BC won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so we'll see Connor Ferguson out there kicking it off early. Here for BC again, one more time, no Makai Williams for the Cadets. He is on the sideline, just has the jersey on, so he will not play tonight. As the cadets wearing their maroon pants with gray tops, you see Rabun Gap running on the field wearing white with gold. And they will send, looks like, 2 deep safeties back on this opening kickoff. Well, we saw in the scrimmage, Connor Ferguson was a back of the end zone guy all night long. And that's something that the cadets have had a lot of the last 4 or 5 years. And you see it so often, you almost take it for granted here at BC. But having a guy that can kick it in the end zone is such a huge advantage. As we get ready to go here from Paulson Stadium, Irk Russell Classic, and the 2024 cadet football season is underway. A high pooch kick going to come down at the 5, make it the 6. And Rabun Gap going to take it across to 20 to the 24. That's going to be Walker Bryson, Jr. And that's where Rabun Gap will start. And the Eagles will take over there. They'll mark it down officially on the 25. Nose of the football touching the 25 as BC will come out in that 3-4 look. Rabun Gap going to come out in what you see a lot of in high school football. Shotgun with 1 back. 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Here's the inside give. Cadets going to snuff that out. And a gain of about 2. Again, their quarterback, number 5, Gavin Owens, 6'4" junior, kind of the same height as Stephen Cannon, but at least the weight they were giving us, he gives up about 15 pounds to Stephen Cannon. So 2nd down and 8 as we're just underway here at Paulson Stadium. And now the Eagles are going to check back with the near sideline. Cadets show blitz. Here on 2nd down, a little bubble screen. And Cadets get out there and brought down. That was tackle made. Looked like made by Isaiah Jones, sophomore linebacker, to bring up 3rd down and about 3. Just a little quick extension of the run game, like you said, Christian.
It's a little toss sweep, just out of the spread. And again, just trying to find ways to get their guys the ball in open field. And right now, BC kind of showing some pressure around right in front. And we talked about how good they are straight up the middle, right between the center and the guards. BC showing a lot of pressure there, but they're trying to work the edges right now.
And you can see good size offensive line there for Rabun Gap as the Eagles move to the pistol look. Cats have 3rd Scroggins up there on the right side. And here's the snap. They do a little play action and dump underneath, and nice hit. Flag comes flying in from way back into secondary, so hold on. I thought the tight end maybe lined up off sides, but let's see what this call is. It was thrown from the back judge here on the near side. Holding against BC. So a defensive holding. Are they going to decline the penalty and take the play? Either way, it'll be a 1st down.
Or was it on them?
I was about to say.
Nope, I think they're going to take the penalty.
There's going to be a 10-yarder on BC. Again, kind of an odd spot there. You usually don't see defensive holding on a play coming up the sideline. You're trying to get to the ball carrier. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 42 for Rabun Gap. They'll go 4 wide, and again, the little twist here for Gavin Owens. He's a lefty for the Eagles. And the lefty, he'll take a snap, look to the far side, and some miscommunication there as he was looking for, I think, the slot receiver to do an out route, and he didn't.
No, and I think a little miscommunication. I think he actually thought he was going to carry it upfield, but the guy cut off his route there. And I guess in stadium, they kept the clock running for an incompletion. So
9:55. It's stopped now. 9:55. It's week 1 for them too, Christian.
Everybody.
So here's second.
I don't think Coach Helton would pay too kindly to that.
Everybody checking with those waistbands for Rabun Gap. Here's the snap. They'll do a quick roll out in the flat. Oh, missed tackle there. Another missed tackle. And finally, Larson Little going to drive him out of bounds, but it's very close to a 1st down. And a couple of missed tackles that time by Some cadets trying to fill the gap there on number 3, Anthony Quinn Jr.
Yeah, Kevin, it's one of the things that we talked about too, where it's such a hard thing to do the first week of the season, but making tackles is just so crucial. BC missed a couple right there.
3rd down and 1 for Rabun Gap. And you'll see Owens run all the way over there and get the play. 3rd down and 1. Clock continues to roll. 9:45 to go here in the first. Here's a little straight ahead give. BC reads that well. I think second effort's going to get him the first down. 3rd Scroggins was in there along with number 71, Paul Thompson, to help make the stop, but not before he gets 2 and a first down. So into BC territory, they move it now. And again, this has been nothing too tricky so far. Kind of your standard spread package, Christian. Little quick outs.
Yeah, and it's what we didn't see. Some downfield shots and then really hitting the inside with the run game. BC's first real taste of that this year.
Trips here to the near side for Rabun Gap. Owens looking. He'll come back to the near side overthrow. A flag comes in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Flags come in over there. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage, 2 flags up the sideline. So my guess is you're going to have interior holding against Rabun Gap and probably pass interference on BC out there.
Yeah, and I thought really it was just the receivers getting their legs tangled, but
well, let's see if they wave it off. But you had the double flags thrown out there at pass interference. So
they throw that flag from the sideline. That's going to be pass interference. They don't usually wave those guys off.
There wasn't pass interference. It's dual holding, basically. So those are going to offset, and we're going to do first down over again. Let's see on the replay on the Jumbotron. Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and I thought BC had good coverage, and it just feet got tangled up.
So 1st and 10 again from the BC 47. And here's the snap to Owens. Going to look to go deep down the middle of the field. Has a man, and it's going to be too far. And he had coverage beat. Going towards the backside, Isaiah Jones in coverage for BC. And he had a step on him. Just a ball thrown a little too far.
And we talked about it with Mekhi Williams being out. How big of a deal is that going to be for BC there in the middle of the field?
That was a Wyatt Easterbrook taking his spot there at the deep safety.
And it turned out to be a pretty big one. Oh, but you get a holding call. So after a very clean scrimmage, Kevin.
Yeah, that's 3 penalties on this drive alone. So 1st and 10 from the BC 37. And this is one of those things where you've eaten 3 minutes up here in the first quarter, but it feels like 10.
And you've only picked up 1 first down through the run of play.
Can that stay in that 3-4? 3 wides for the Eagles. Here's the give up the middle and breaking a tackle into the second level and brought down by Isaiah Jones again. But that'll be enough for another first down. So back-to-back first downs, either by play or penalty. And you can see Rabun Gap very deliberate in their offense.
Little off tackle right there, saw a crease and cut it up. And just able to keep the legs churning. And BC just not great tackling to start off here.
Here's what I understand. Owens runs all the way over to the coaches to get the play and then checks the play sheet on the
maybe can't hear
the pad. Here we go. 1st and 10. Going to step up in the pocket. Throw. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown. He beat Easterbrook deep over the middle, and that's going to put the Eagles on the board. 6-0. On a 25-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, and Mekhi Williams out, and they're going right after his replacements there, Kevin, and it's been a tough look so far for that BC secondary.
So Rabun Gap on for the extra point. This will be, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. Number 30, Nozumu Mikiachi.
Listen.
Close enough?
You tried. I hope you nailed it.
And a point after. It's blocked! Who was it that came through there and got a piece of it?
There's some juice.
And that'll be a way to get some things started. Trying to get another number tucked there. I want to say it was Marquis Williams. So Marquis in there with the field goal block, and it's 6-0. Radun Gap on top of BC here in the early going. Cadets football on WatchBCSports.com, built by Islands Ace Hardware. Cadets about to go on the offensive here for the first time. On a muggy night here in Statesboro. And this is one where they'll gather around Coach Houston here on the near side, and they got a lot to go over.
Oh, those iPads are going to be getting some use tonight because that's just some play action or run, play action. Little seam route right there, just miscommunication in the secondary.
So it'll be Mikaichi. I'm going to let Christian try that one.
No, I'm over here running the cameras.
Mikaichi. I don't know. I
like it.
I think I had it right the first time, and I'm just butchering it ever since. Here's the kick. It's high and short. It's going to be caught at the 15. And across the 20, there's a hole in the middle, 25. Across the 30, in great field position here for BC as the up man. I believe that was Marquis Williams on the return.
I think somebody might want to get out of here early for a Saturday night because that clock just ran about 15 more seconds after the kickoff.
8:10 to go here in the first quarter. And here's our look at the BC offense led by junior quarterback Stephen Cannon. He's got Stanley Smart behind him, 2 wide receivers up top. And Bubba Frazier in motion. Here's the give inside. Smart, and Eagles are all over that. He's going to lose a yard.
Yeah, and I think they're going to make Stephen Cannon show that he can beat them. They know BC runs the football, and it's really simple high school football. You stop the run, make them beat you through the air. Stephen Cannon's going to have to show that he can do that tonight.
So 2nd down and 11. Trips up top. Also a 3-4 look from Radun Gap. They'll throw it in a little bubble screen. Bubba Frazier, and he's going to lose more. So perimeter blocking not good. Interior blocking not good so far here on the first couple of plays. It's 2nd down and 16.
And I think that one goes back, Kevin, to a bad
3rd
snap.
down and 16. Sorry, yeah.
Did a little high snap there, kind of threw the whole thing off. And that one has to be a quick out, or those guys are going to shed the blocks. So now it's just avoid disaster. Don't turn the ball over this deep in your own side.
Now here's the snap to Cannon on 3rd down and 16. He rolls, got plenty of time here to the near side. Looking, trying to get his receiver to go. Going to throw it and caught at the marker. And did he hold on? Yes, he did. BC says they have a 1st down. Let's see where they spot it. And Danny Britt saying, put the ball up here.
Yeah.
Put it up here. On the 45. That's a 1st down. And what a play by Stephen Cannon. Buying time. And he tried to get Bubba Frazier to go deep. You see him point, and then found Washington on the comeback.
And how about the junior quarterback right there? Taking his time. Could have easily run, but probably would have been stopped short. Taking his time, letting it come to him, and delivering an absolute strike.
So 1st and 10 as BC's their first down of the game. That's a BC Brothers moving 1st down, and a bad snap. Throw it away, big man, and
That's
he does.
A great play.
And smart heads-up play by Stephen Cannon just to get it the heck out of there. And, again, not what you usually see from BC. Lawrence Rivers, 3-year starter at center.
Yeah, and it could be a slick field at range just before the game there. But it's such a fast offense, and everything happens really quick. If you get a bad snap, it's going to really throw things off for any offense, but specifically with the style of offense BC runs. So now just take the shotgun snap out of it, Kevin. 2nd
down, they're going to put Cannon under center. Back to that flex look, quick end around. And straight ahead, that's going to be Jack Gannum. And a flag comes in way late. I think Carlton Hardy might have had a little extracurricular. And you see he's getting a talking to. Jacoby Ward saying, can't have that, big man.
Undisciplined stuff so far.
We just ran a 9-yard carry on 1st down, and we're going to lose it all here. Oh, maybe not.
Hey, maybe that's just big guys being big guys, and you got to let them do it sometimes.
What do I know? So they give him a first down on the Jack Ganem end around. And now they'll go right back to the 4 wides. Everybody up. One deep safety there for the Eagles. They'll put Smart in motion. Cannon on first down. Flag comes out. He rolls near side and caught out of bounds by Bubba Frazier. But a flag came from both sides, so I'm going to say somebody for BC lined up off sides.
Or maybe one of their guys lined up off sides. Well, you got to be negative, Kevin.
Because they were thrown towards the BC backfield. False start on BC. And, boy, that's what, 5-6 flags already?
Can we take a second? We got our first let the kids play from the stands for the season. That's the good stuff.
If you want to comment to us on the broadcast, let the kids play.
Let the kids
play.
Let them play.
We'll give you a shout out on the broadcast.
That's the good stuff.
Hashtag let the kids play. So it'll be first down and 15 from the Radun Gap 48. Cannon going to go under center. And end around to Bubba Frazier trying to get outside. Can he get there? Nope. Great tackle in the open field. That was number 8, Christopher Hobbs, coming up from his free safety spot, and Bubba Frazier couldn't turn the corner. It'll be second down and close to 20.
Yeah, much like we always say with BC, it's hard to go east and west against a really disciplined football team. BC's had some success running off tackle, but just going out to that perimeter right now, you got to earn that.
And unfortunately, on most of this drive, I mean, they've made it work. They have not been in favorable down and distance very often. Second and 19. This is Ganem in motion. Here's the snap. And immediately under pressure, and down he goes. Number 22 in on the pressure. That's going to be he's going to be Owen Madden.
And you got an offensive lineman down, too.
And trying to see who's up. I think that's going to be Carlton Hardy. Big left tackle. And while they take a minute to attend to him, we're going to step aside. This is WatchBCSports.com and BC Cadets football, built by Island's Ace Hardware.
Bowtie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. Bowtie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah.
You know, Christian, after a day of the hottest sports in town, sometimes you just gotta unwind.
Yeah, Kevin, and the perfect place to do it, Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings.
That's because Cool Vibes offers delicious pizza, wings, sandwiches, and salads, all with a Jamaican Caribbean island twist.
And the atmosphere is 100% kicked back. No worries, man.
Plus, they're the home of the Oxtail Pizza.
Cool Vibes Pizza, 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah. That's coolvibespizza.com. Cool with a K.
Come on and unwind at Cool Vibes.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Island's Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Island's Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back here to Allen E. Paulson Stadium. Carlton Hardy being helped off the field, not putting a lot of weight on that left leg, so don't want to speculate. But doesn't look like he would be returning anytime here in the near future. Hopefully we can get him back here in this game. So BC going to have to go into the depth there at left tackle.
Kevin, what you got in the playbook for 3rd and 27?
Honestly, I think you just run a draw play. You lost your left tackle. You got Gavin Smith. He's a sophomore.
You could do the Rocky Hidalgo where you're so frustrated with your offense when you punt on 3rd down.
True. You got a sophomore coming in to replace him at left tackle, so just get the ball out and move.
And they're going to throw deep, baby.
They're going to throw it. Has a man almost intercepted. He was looking to go to Josh Washington up the seam, underthrown ball, and I don't think saw that linebacker underneath who almost picked it off. So BC going to trot on Connor Ferguson and punt this football.
Yeah, and honestly, the way that drive went, that might be the best thing for him. Get to the sideline, regroup. Hopefully the defense had a chance to look at what was happening, where they were getting burned. But just a clunky first couple of possessions there for the Cadets. Radun Gap's come out really, really nicely here to start this game. BC can't get out of their own way.
Connor Ferguson, clean snap. High hanging punt, going to come down inside the 20 at the 17-yard line, and a nice punt from Connor. And again, they're going to have to go a long ways, but important drive here for this BC defense. Again, it was, I want to say death by 1,000 cuts, but it was mostly on you, right? 3 big penalties, continued the drive, and then you got beat over the top once they kind of got down inside the 35. And if you can cut down that, had 3 chances to get off the field on the last possession and couldn't do it, and ultimately led to a touchdown.
Yeah, and again, I think your number one goal has to be keep everything in front of you. That time they had some guys running free in the secondary on that last drive. Keep everyone in front of you and let that front 7 really do their best to try to stop the run.
So trips out to the left. They'll put one in motion for Owens, the lefty junior quarterback for Radun Gap. Little RPO action out in the flat, and BC there to wrap him up, but not before a gain of 11.
And what's the counter for keeping 4 guys over the top? You throw a quick bubble screen, and that safety has to run the alley, but he's slow. That's a first down.
Yeah, making BC run side to side here. First and 10 from the Radun Gap 29. They'll bring another back stand offside of Owens, and they'll give it here to the near side, and there you go. Nice gap filled there that time by Colby Brennan.
Yeah, playing that inside linebacker spot, was able to shed a block and run the alley there for a tackle. That's what you got to do, Kevin. Big time defensive linemen that are going to be able to create those alleyways. You as a 3-4 backer have to be able to find them, get off your block, and fill.
So it'll be second down and 10. Cadets have third Scroggins here on the near side, opposite the 3 wide receivers, top of your screen. So here's the snap to Owens. A little underneath screen. BC reads it well and holds him to a gain of about 2. Tackle made by Isaiah Jones. Again, we've called his name a lot here in the early going.
Yeah, and I think that was man coverage from BC, so they already had their eyes kind of in the backfield there. That was a good job by the safety running down there and making that play. And again, he had a guy manned up, designated on that running back, so that helps.
Third down and 8, big down already for BC as there's 3:25 and counting here in the first quarter. Radun Gap leads 6-0, scored a touchdown. Cadets blocked the extra point.
It's a big third down.
So Owens here on 3rd and 8. BC rushes forward. There's another one over the top, has a man a little too far. And Cadets getting beat deep. Just poor throws is going to be 4th down, and now the Cadets have somebody else injured. This looks like a cramp. And as we said, it is a muggy night here in Statesboro.
Yeah, and again, if BC getting burned in the secondary there, they'll like cover 4, and if that's the case, you have to really, if you're a corner, you have to lock down your side. Nobody gets over the top of you, and they were able to burn them down the sideline. Very lucky they weren't able to connect there. But that being said, got to get the football back here with a punt, chance for the offense to reset.
And maybe it's not a cramp. I saw one of the BC linemen tapping his knee saying, this isn't a cramp.
Right. And that's what we're hoping.
And you see Danny Britt walking out there. Christian, we're going to step aside while they work on that young man, and we'll come back here to, oh, now they're sitting him up. We'll keep it right here.
I got my finger ready to go whenever you need it.
We'll step aside. We'll come back here to Paulson Stadium. It's 6-0 in the first quarter. Watch BCSports.com.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Vernon Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Welcome back. Isaac Scott the injured cadet. He has been helped off to the side. He's not putting a lot of weight on that one leg, although we do see him stretching out. So Carlton Hall and Isaiah Scott, two cadets banged up in the last 3 or 4 minutes of gameplay here. And you hope they can return. Rabun Gap to punt. This is more of a line driver, going to be fair, caught at the 36 by Bubba Frazier, and now BC will take over for their second possession. Christian, much like defense, offensively, is playing in front of the chains here. You kind of did the same thing. You'd have a good play, bring it back. Good play, bring it back, right. And you were in constantly. Matter of fact, the one first down you got was on 2nd and 19, or 3rd and 19, excuse me.
Yeah, you just got to get out of your own way here a little bit if you're the cadets, but I think it's just taking that big deep breath. That was kind of the first punch of the game. You're able to take it there. Now you're coming out on offense again. Just play your game.
So 1st and 10 from the BC 36-yard line. Here's Cannon in a shotgun. One deep safety for Rabun Gap. Looking here to the near side. Throws that out round. It's going to be picked off. Underthrown. And that's a clear-cut run to the end zone. Picked off by Corey Moss. And he takes it the rest of the way for the touchdown. And that was just a quick out. And he read it the whole way. And that was just a young quarterback mistake there.
Yeah,
never took his eyes off and threw it out there.
I think everybody in the stadium knew where that football was going. It's just a flag and then an underneath route coming, and it's just a combo route that you see a lot of the time with these spread football teams. It's a great job by that nickelback to just kind of float, and take advantage of a quarterback just staring his guy down.
So it's 12-0. BC trailing Rabun Gap, mostly on just busted plays. Interception for a touchdown and a blown coverage led to the first touchdown. So now the cadets have their work cut out for them. And the extra point to be tacked on by Rabun Gap. And BC got another one. That one was knocked down by Paul Thompson, who came right up the middle and got those big mitts on there, and it's 12-0. And that's been the bright spot. BC special teams.
Special teams are looking good.
We'll come back. It's 12-0 here in the Irk Russell Classic, and this is Watch BC Sports and Cadets Football, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
You know, Christian, after a day of the hottest sports in town, sometimes you just gotta unwind.
Yeah, Kevin, and the perfect place to do it, Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings.
That's because Cool Vibes offers delicious pizza, wings, sandwiches, and salads, all with a Jamaican Caribbean island twist.
And the atmosphere is 100% kicked back. No worries, man.
Plus, they're the home of the Oxtail Pizza.
Cool Vibes Pizza, 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah. That's coolvibespizza.com. Cool with a K.
Come on and unwind at Cool Vibes.
Welcome back to Allen E. Paulson Stadium. Cadets down 12-0. 2:47 to go here in the first quarter. And it's been disaster of their own making, Christian Gokel, by and large.
Yeah, I mean, you've gotten the bad stuff out of the way now, so hopefully we can start to see some of the progress. I think BC's got to get back to running the football. That's where you've built this program off of, going back, I'd say, since the beginning of the program. Build the program running the football. It's 2024. I get everybody wants to be new and hip. You got to run the football.
Wyatt Easterbrook going to fair catch that into 22. So BC will take right back over. And again, haven't been in a lot of down and distance to run the football. When they have, it's been a lot of edge plays that give Rabun Gap credit. They have snuffed it out.
Yes. And BC's got athletes, and they have guys who can make plays in the open field. They're just taking away all the easy stuff, and they're going to make Stephen Cannon earn these throws, and they're going to make the running backs earn it through breaking tackles.
And again, you got a sophomore in at left tackle in Gavin Smith, 6 foot, 230 pounds. Filling in for Carlton Hardy, who went down. Here's a little toss sweep, and that was snuffed out. Stanley Smart. And right now, BC just getting whipped to the edge, Christian.
Yeah, not setting the edge at all. And you're trying to get out there. BC usually owns that edge, but right now, Rabun Gap is just flying up and making plays, and they're a really talented football team, and you're starting to see why.
So once again, you're behind the chains, 2nd and 15. Here for the cadets. Rabun Gap filling all the gaps here early in the ball game. Here's a straight ahead give, and broke tackles by Smart. Going to get a good chunk, still grinding, still pushing. And he gets out towards the 30, and that'll make this at least 3rd and manageable here for BC.
And that's just BC's bread and butter right there. You fake the buck sweep, you give it to the fullback on a gut play right there, and he's able to keep it grinding. I know Stanley Smart, everybody's excited because he's that 10-6 kind of guy in the 100-meter, but he's also 195 pounds, which, I mean, that's bigger than most people's linebackers. So able to keep the legs grinding right there and showing off some strength, much more manageable for third down here. This would be huge for the Cadets to keep their defense off the field, let those guys rest up a little bit more.
So third down, we'll call it 5 here from the Cadet 29. That's Bubba Frazier in motion here to the near side. Cannon looking. Now going to have to flee the pocket. Still looking. He's going to run near side. Can he get there? Ran for the sticks. I think going to be shoved out.
Just short.
A little short at the 32.
I think if he makes that decision a couple seconds earlier, just pull it and run, he's got that first down. I think he's just trying a little hard to make that big play and just trying to make a play.
Let's say too early in the ball game to go for it here, and they're going to trot on.
Yeah, reset the field.
Connor Ferguson.
Look, baby steps, Kevin. It wasn't a pick six. We feel good if a drive ends with a kick.
1:18 to go here in the first quarter. Ferguson from his own 18. Snap is good. Connor gets off a nice high hanging kick. Going to be fair. Caught at the 28-yard line. And so Connor continues to kick the ball really well for BC. And now defensively, it's right back on you to kind of hold it right there and not give anything else up. Again, BC's good at making adjustments. Christian Gokel, but they're going to have to make some more here in this first half. They've seemingly played defense a lot here in this first half, maybe because of pace of play, penalties, things of that nature. But it seems like they've been out there on the field a good bit.
And let's give Radun Gap credit. They just come out with a really well-executed, orchestrated plan and executed it at a very high degree. So, I mean, this is a very good football team.
Here's the give straight ahead. That was snuffed out, nicely read that time. And there is third Scroggins shedding a block and keeping him from going anywhere. They're going to say he got about a half a yard, second down.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Stop the run and then let those guys in the secondary just keep everything in front of them. Got a Sunbelt crew on the chains tonight, Kevin.
How about it? Second down. I'd watch for the bubble screen here. Let's see. Nope. A little out route. Receiver fell down. It's going to be picked off. That's Zach Maxwell. He comes up the near side, 30, 20, 15. He's got a man to beat. Can he get there? Touchdown. Zach Maxwell. 42-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Christian Gokel, there's your explosion play.
Talk about what the doctor ordered. All the bounces have been going Radun Gap's way. That time, the receiver falls on a slick turf here. We had rain earlier. Falls down by the turf monster. And BC has a guy right there ready to rock. Zach Maxwell, a guy who can make some plays. And he showed off the Jets there to score. That's what BC needed right there. That kind of a play. Get them back in this football game.
Zach Maxwell, the senior corner, with a huge play. And now Connor Ferguson for the point after. And he blasts it right through there. BC on the board. It's 12-7. Still 30 seconds to go in the first. We're coming right back here on Watch BC Sports, and this is BC Football, built by Island's Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Island's Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Island's Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back here to Paulson Stadium. Christian Gokel, man, you needed a play, you needed a spark. Kind of lifeless with all the penalties, and there you go.
You got to get your lick back, right? They picked off your quarterback, took it to the house. You got to return the favor. You got to have your quarterbacks back. And just a huge momentum play there for the Cadets. It had been all Radun Gap to start this football game. They were able to come out and steal some momentum right there.
So Connor Ferguson will kick it off here for the Cadets. 30 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Thanks to you all tuning in here on WatchBCSports.com and on our YouTube channel. If you're out there, give us a shout out on the channel. Let us know where you're dialing it up from tonight. Always good to see how far the BC alumni have spread across the globe. Here's the kick. And that one is going to come down just short of the end zone. They're going to run it out. And gets a block on the near side, a cutback. One man to beat, a spin move. And Connor Ferguson couldn't bring him down. And still a neckline tackle, if you will, That was Jack Gannum for BC saving a touchdown, and Rabun Gap answers right back all the way out to the 42 of BC.
Yeah, just a bunch of missed tackles right there, but I think very fortunate that he was able to get brought down there. I know you get one-on-one with the kicker, usually that's it. But
I think Connor honestly was like, let me just get in the way and somebody else can tackle.
I think if he had hit the juke button instead of the spin button, he's probably taking it for 6, but he spun. As we all know that play college football 25, that hits the fatigue factor. And so some cadets were able to get up there and make a tackle, but a huge return there sets Rabun Gap up in really good territory.
So 1st and 10 from the BC 42. Cadets in that 3-4 look. Here's Owens, the lefty, going to wind up, try to throw deep, and he's got a man. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Touchdown.
Yeah, go ahead and finish it off.
He beat Zach Maxwell deep over the top by a half a step, and a nicely placed ball by Mr. Owens, who I understand has got Clemson looks and all that, and you can see the touch on the deep ball there. And you talk about a game of answers. What an answer by the Eagles.
Well, we talked about this at the beginning is Coach Britt says, you're going to come out, we're going to play our game. But when you have guys on the outside that can do that, I don't know that you're going to be able to consistently just come out there and one-on-one with these guys. You're going to have to give some safety help over the top at some point.
So now Rabun Gap are going to go for 2. They've had 2 extra points blocked, and I think maybe the Eagles coaches have seen enough of that. So 18-7 as the Eagles going to go for 2. 3 on the play clock. They'll take it. Here's Owens over the middle. Caught, and did he catch it? Yes, he did. Caught by Pritchett, number 7, right over the middle, sandwiched between 2 BC defenders. And it's 20-7. Rabun Gap pushes the lead up there with 10 seconds. So a 20-second possession there for Rabun Gap in the first quarter. And that's not what you wanted to see if you're the Cadets defensively. That's usually something Danny Britt says, hey, let's try to go score in 30 seconds. Defensively, you just got a big return, beat on a big play, and then the 2-point conversion there.
I mean, it's just whatever could go wrong has gone wrong so far, and I think it's going to be a lot of tape. That's the reason you play these football games. It's not over by a long shot, but you learn a lot playing these games against really good football teams where you have some deficiencies, and right now we're seeing that it's in all 3 phases for the Cadets.
So yet another kickoff. If you're just joining us, I think this is the, 5th kickoff of the 5th or 6th kickoff of the first quarter.
Yep, 3rd for Rabun Gap.
And they're going to hang one up short. The old Danny Britt pooch play there. Easterbrook takes it at the 39, so Cadets going to get good field position here.
I don't think they want to say, hey, okay, we got a pick 6, they got a pick 6. We got a big return. Let's not let them get that.
So they'll put him down at the 40, back at the 39, actually. And with 10 seconds, they ran no time off because of the fair catch. 10 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. And if you're BC, as much as you want to score quickly,
just run your offense, man.
Put a drive together.
Yeah, run your offense.
And here's the quick end around. This is Bubba Frazier cutting back inside, and he'll get maybe 2 just across the 40, and that'll do it for the first quarter. 20-7 our score. We're coming right back for quarter number 2 here at the Irk Russell Classic. And this is Watch BC Sports and BC Cadets Football, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
We're back here at Alan E. Paulson Stadium getting ready for the second quarter. BC trailing at 20-7. And it's just been mistakes that have cost the Cadets. Their only score is a pick 6. They've given up a pick 6, a huge return. I think the Cadets flagged for 5-6 penalties in that first quarter alone. So a couple to extend drives. So it's been one of those things where it's been a rocky start. You have a couple of guys banged up with knee injuries. And again, you don't want to belabor the point. You got good players there, but you went from Carlton Hardy, who's 6'4", 320 pounds, to a sophomore who is 6 foot, 230 pounds. So you lose some experience in about 100 pounds. And Radun Gap, probably not the same, but close to probably what you're going to see at Buford next week. Some big, physical, athletic bodies on that defensive front. So we'll keep an eye on that. How much do they go to the left offensively? They haven't so much since they've had to go that direction. So,
well, and it's felt like BC's been banging their head against the wall a little bit, trying to run into where Rayburn is really slanting towards, but also mistakes on top of that have not helped.
Here's Cannon rolling near side, trying to get a receiver to go deep, going to toss it up and throw it away. He took a shot on the end of that, and it'll be 3rd down and 8. And again, nobody open.
And I think abandoning a pretty clean area to throw a little bit early too. So when you get some rushing in your face to start a game, it can become easy to really start to flush out of that pocket quick. You just got to stick in there and trust his guys.
So a big 3rd down here if you're the Cadets. Haven't really sustained a drive here in this ball game so far. And trying to keep one alive. Here's the snap to Cannon. He's got some time. Throws near side and a little tie. That's going to be pass interference, as it was JoJo Sutton tied up here on the near side. And as the pass got there, you saw JoJo looking at his shoes.
Well, I think the DB fell down trying to make a cut and come back and grab JoJo, and that's going to be a much-needed 1st down.
And that will be a BC Brothers moving the chains. 1st down, only the 2nd time they've been able to move those chains. And again, thanks to BC Brothers Moving for helping us move the chains all season long.
Cadets could use a box truck right about now.
And they need about 2 more BC Brothers helping out to move these chains down towards the red zone. There's a little toss sweep here to the near side. This is going to be Frazier, and a flag comes in, flag comes in late. I don't know if Stanley Smart tackled a guy trying to block him. He's pointing, saying that guy was holding me. Trying not to let me get to the edge.
And you got a flag at the top of the field as well.
So let's see, one official talking to Danny Britt here. Don't know what it would have been on the backside. It was a pure power toss sweep coming here to the short side of the field. And let's see what, and now they can't figure it out. I guess they're trying to figure out the spot to mark this off from. So illegal substitution. I don't know if you could hear the head official there. Legal block below the waist is the penalty BC is going to take. So that'll push them down inside the 30 to the 26. And they declined the illegal substitution.
And we got some shout outs here on social media. Kevin, class of 2010, watching from Charlotte, North Carolina. And then we have Glenn Edwards, Coach Levi Edwards' dad, watching all the way from England.
And here's a rollout for Cannon, trying to buy some time. And he's going to have to take that out of bounds. He's going to lose 5 on the play. And again, just nothing doing in the deep passing game so far for BC.
No, and you got to get the run game going before you can get the play action game going. And they're just crashing down on the edges right now for BC. And as soon as he fakes that handoff and boots out, he's got a guy in his face and his eyes immediately come down. So I don't know if that side of the playbook's really working right now.
So trips to the top of the formation. They'll put Stanley Smart in motion. So Cannon going to have an empty set here on 2nd and 15. High snap. Going to wind up, go to the end zone. He's got Smart, and in the corner of the end zone, a little too far. And it'll be 3rd and 15. And now, Christian, I think the goal is get 7 to 10 yards and let Connor Ferguson kick it.
More yardage and attempt a field goal, 100%.
Because it seemed those 2 blocked field goals have come into play way more than I think people think at the moment. Because you kick a field goal here, you're only down 10, and it feels like you're down 4 touchdowns in some respects here. Because the offense just hasn't done much.
It's about the time you need Bryce Baker in the I formation.
Yeah, 3rd and 15. Cannon going to wind up, throw it back corner. Receiver kind of broke off the route. He was looking for Bubba Frazier, and now it's going to be 4th down. And they're going to ask Connor Ferguson. Well, let's see if they are. Here comes Connor. And Robert Leonard going to be the man holding it.
Might as well, right?
This is going to be a 48-yarder from the right hash for Connor Ferguson. He's got the leg. Does he have the accuracy? That was a little bit of the issue on the deep ones last year. He's got plenty of it in the foot. Can he put it between the pipes? The kick, line driver, plenty of distance, and it is good. 48-yarder for Connor Ferguson, and it's 20-10. BC cutting into that lead. We'll step aside here in the second. This is WatchBCSports.com and BC Cadets football, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
Bowtie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. Bowtie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah.
Welcome back here to Allen E. Paulson Stadium. Kevin Thomas alongside me, Christian Gokel. Cadets have finally put some offensive points on the board here. Christian Gokel, it's 20-10, and now with 10:55 to go, plenty of time in the second quarter. Got to get off the field.
Yeah, I think the defense has done a little bit better job, but still just getting cooked deep a couple times. They're going to start to find those. Got to solidify in the secondary. Like you said, Kevin, maybe drop some more guys back and then let the front four go to work.
Connor Ferguson will boot this left to right. Again, BC with no Mekhi Williams tonight.
Got to put this one in the end zone.
Carlton Hardy and Isaac Scott have both been knocked out of this game with injury to this point. Line driver from Ferguson. It'll roll through the end zone.
Much needed.
So come out to the 20. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. And again, if you're Galen Houston, I know you said Danny Britt taking over the secondary as well. And they've had their struggles here early on. So, both of those gentlemen going to be hitting it hard at halftime, trying to make some adjustments here.
Well, yeah, and you lose your center fielder there in Mekhi Williams before the game. You knew there was going to be some bumps, but the bumps are becoming very consistent.
So here it's 1st and 10. Owens, the left-handed junior quarterback. Little quick bubble screen, and he waits on his blockers, and BC pursues well, but not before he gets 8-9 yards. Are they going to give him extra forward progress out to the 30? If so, that's probably a 1st down. And again, it's not that plays a flag, maybe a hold on the edge. That play's not very complex, Christian. You throw it out there. He got the wide receiver blocking down, and then he waited on his 2 tackles to get out there.
Yeah.
And so let's see what they're talking to Danny Britt about what he wants to do here. I don't know what the discussion can be. Of course, I don't know why you wouldn't want to back him up at this point. Why you even ask? False start against.
I think
1st and 15.
I think they're saying an eligible man downfield. When those guys release, they're already downfield before that ball got thrown. Okay, have a couple more check-ins here. Class of 92 watching somewhere in the Middle East.
Oh.
That's John Goat there.
Should I say thank you for your service?
I think so, too. And then Jeff Evans, our good friends over at Bowtie Barbecue, watching from Las Vegas.
Hey, not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
A week before college football gets started.
Oh, brother, tell me about it.
Christian's been playing college football since late June.
I'm already in like 20. I'm in like 2042.
And now what do we have? I think Radun Gap's going to call a timeout. This will be their first timeout. Christian will take it with him as well. This is Cadets football on WatchBCSports.com, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
Bowtie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. Bowtie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah. At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
10:21 to go here in the second quarter. It'll be 1st and 15 after a Rabun Gap timeout. And a big series here for this BC defense. Gavin Owens has ran this offense beautifully for Rabun Gap. Big 6'4" left-handed quarterback. Got a number of college offers already as a junior. And he'll take the snap and try to spin out of some pressure. He had a man in his face, throws it up and out of bounds.
I don't know if they got back.
I think
it did. It got back to the line of scrimmage.
It didn't get back to the original marker.
I don't think it has to, though. It got back to where the ball was snapped from. Yeah, it got back.
It got past where the spot was. But he had some third Scroggins all up in his face.
That's not a good time.
He took a spin and saw number 11. Oh, no, they did call intentional grounding. So that'll be a loss of down and some yardage.
Yeah, I feel like I got to be upset if I'm Rabun Gap there. BC obviously will take it.
It got past the spot line of scrimmage, but not the original 1st and 10 chains.
But does it need to? Is the real question.
Oh, half the distance from the pass. Loss of down. So this ball's all the way back on the 1.
Yeah, this is danger zone for Rabun Gap.
Because he threw it right outside the end zone. So now, BC, you've been susceptible to the deep pass. Can't give one up here. Just let them get it off the end zone, make it 3rd and long, and they'll probably be content to play it out and punt it away.
I don't know. You got an explosive offense like this. I don't know how content they are to just do anything.
So it's 2nd and 28. And here's the snap to Owens. Looking. He'll throw it to a man open in a zone. Oh, what the lumber! Wyatt Easterbrook. That was some stacked firewood for you right there. Man. He had a man open, and Easterbrook came flying over from the safety position.
And that's what you got to do from that safety spot, man. You're watching that quarterback, making sure nothing's getting behind you. As soon as that ball is released, you get to the sideline. Kind of, Kevin, for a throwback, kind of reminds you of that momentum setter back when Florida played Oklahoma in the national championship. Major Wright comes and just knocks out an Oklahoma Sooner on the sideline there and just kind of sparked the whole football team. That's that kind of play right there. That was huge, and now brings up a long 3rd down.
Now's where you might see the old draw play or something like that. Otherwise, they'll be
maybe they try it again.
Oh, here's the snap. They're going to run a little bubble screen and out to the 2nd level. BC missing tackles and saving a big play.
And that was a great job by whoever made that play of letting go of the back of the uniform.
Cam Cody.
Yeah. How about your big nose tackle getting out there downfield to make that play? But it looked like he had the back of a jersey for a half a second, let it go, and then tackled him for the legs. But that's a big-time possession there for the Cadets.
So 4th down, BC is going to put Bubba Frazier and Josh Washington back deep. First time Rabun Gap's had to punt tonight. I think BC does not like the way they're lined up on special teams. You see Danny Britt, high-hanging punt. It's going to be short and caught in Rabun Gap territory by Bubba Frazier at the 49. And, Christian, if you saw Danny Britt near sideline, they were screaming at somebody who was supposed to be up on a double safety up there, and they were not lined up correctly.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily the double safety or if it was calling off maybe a play like where they were going to go after it. I think he might have been signaling to the guy who was communicating out there on special teams like, hey, return.
So a short kick, they're actually mark it back. I don't know how it's in BC territory. He caught it on the other side of the 50, Christian Gokel, but they lose 2 yards on the spot.
That's all right.
And
plus
first
territory, Kevin.
No, technically not.
Ah, come on. look, the center moves it forward into plus territory.
There you go. 1st and 10 here for the Cadets. Trips here to the short side, and that's going to be offsides.
There you go, a little hard count. And when the defensive lineman puts his hand in the air and says, my bad, that makes it a pretty easy call.
Yeah, I think they'll coach him up and say, hey, we know, but don't just go ahead and give it up.
No. Point at somebody.
Just point at, hey, you did it.
Point in the stands. Say, hey, that's a.
They did mark it off against BC.
See? That's that reverse psychology.
And I think the BC fans are thinking the same thing.
Like
when the
dude said he
defensive
did it.
lineman's like,
Yeah.
I did it, then
that's an interesting one.
so 1st and 15 for BC. Just can't seem to stay in front of the chains on the early downs. Here's Cannon, straight drop. Throws underneath. There's Bubba Frazier. Got a little room, and he'll jump out of bounds at the 46. So get some of it back and then some.
Yep. And I think that's where you got to go. That's a great play there. Just a little drag route. Let everybody clear out. Take your time. Good blocking there. And just get it out. Get into one of your best guys' hands.
And to me, that's the Justin Thomas's, all those drag routes you used to see have big yardage
Right.
for. Another one of those cadet staples. Zaquan Bryan had a bunch of yards on the drag routes. Here's the snap to Cannon. He looks near side. They wanted the screen. Now a little pump and go. And he's got a man. This is Jack Ganem up the right side and knocked out of bounds inside the red zone. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for BC. They'll spot him up at the 16-yard line. And what a haul in by Jack Ganem. They faked the little dump bubble screen. And Ganem and Bubba Frazier took off, and he hit Jack Ganem up the right side.
And I think that was a really impressive throw from Stephen Cannon because you're so amped up. You got a guy running wide open. The fact that he was able to just drop that in there to a guy and hit him in stride is huge.
And now we want a timeout. I think Radun Gap says, hey, I know there's no replay, but he fumbled the ball. Radun Gap wants a timeout, and I think they're going to talk about it. Let's look at the replay here at Paulson Stadium. Ooh, I don't know.
Touches out of
it
bounds.
touches out of bounds there. So that ball was definitely out. And I think this is just a, hey, I'm going to state my case timeout.
Right.
You see that in basketball a lot where coaches call timeout and it's like, yeah, I don't care what you tell our guys. This is my 30 seconds to go yell at the official.
Yeah, and I can't take these timeouts with me, so you're going to hear from me.
8:59 to go. Boy, these quarters, I guess you're putting up a lot of yards in the air, a lot of incompletions,
a lot of throwing,
a lot of big strikes, and it's been dragging along. Thankfully for BC, it keeps extending the ball game, and you have a chance to pull within a field goal if you can finish off this drive.
Yeah, you're only 3 minutes into the second quarter, and you're driving. I think you kind of withstood the early onslaught, and now you got a football game. And if anything, the two teams I got to play at 9 o'clock tonight are going, daggone guys, come on, let's run the football a little bit.
They want the Stanley Smart show.
But man, how good is this for the cadets this early in the season? It feels like a playoff game. Two really talented football teams, and you're having to learn on the fly first game of the season. I know a lot of teams around the state of Georgia did that yesterday. I mean, you had Lee County and Warner Robins play each other, right? Camden and Brunswick playing each other. Glenn Academy and Wayne County playing each other last night. So a lot of really good teams playing each other and learning from each other. I think this is really cool and a really cool atmosphere to start the season. It almost kind of feels like the start of college football season where you get all those big out-of-conference matchups. You get two teams from opposite sides of the state here and playing a really good football to start.
So out of this timeout, it will be 1st down and 10 for BC. And every season, every game, especially early in the season, you find out a little bit about yourself. I think this is one of those drives for BC. Christian, here's the snap. Cannon, all kinds of time. And man, wide open back in the end zone. Bubba Frazier. And the Cadets are on the board again. It's 20-16. And the defender slipped down, and Bubba Frazier saying,
thank you.
I'm right here. Throw me the football. And that you don't have them that easy in practice.
Right, and it's hard for anybody to run with Bubba Frazier, but one-on-one where he knows where he's going, that's almost impossible. So really good throw. Good job by Stephen Cannon, taking his time in the pocket, letting that play develop, delivering a strike, and then just Bubba Frazier cooking.
Cadets hustling a man on late here for the extra point. And Connor Ferguson, the point after, is up and is right through there. 20-17, 8:52 to go here in the third. We're stepping aside. BC trying to come back here before the half. This is Cadets football on Watch BC Sports, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
The honor, the heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBC Sports.
Welcome back to Allen E. Paulson Stadium. Cadets trying to turn the tide here on Rabun Gap. It's 20-17, 8:52 still to go here in the quarter, Christian Gokel.
Yeah, you want to say what defense, but there's been 2 defensive scores in the first 15 minutes of action. So just really good football being played here in Statesboro.
And anymore, I think Christian high school football sometimes becoming like college and the pros. You could have a good defensive effort and give up 24, 28 points.
You ain't lying.
Especially when you play some good quality football teams. And I think sometimes with some of those great defenses of the past, like I said, you play some teams, you're like, it's going to be 56-3. And that one's in the end zone. First time Connor's full-fledged got one in the air in the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20. And he has had himself a heck of a first half.
He's going to get tired.
He's punted 2 or 3 times, kicked off 3 times, had a 48-yard field goal.
Man's skin is working. Coach Brett said he had a lower body injury prior to the season, but it kind of felt like it was a blessing in disguise because it got him to sit down and stop kicking and rest his leg. He said he came back. It sounded like a different kind of pop, a little extra power.
Oh, bad snap. Owens trying to get out of there, and he's going to fall ahead. Boy, a good second effort by Owens. I thought BC had him wrapped up there in the backfield.
This is a big drive for Rabun Gap here. Is you got to get a first down here. BC is starting to find something on offense. You got to get a first down. Let that defense, you see them all under the tent. Look at the iPads, figure out what's going on. But if you're BC, you got to smell the blood in the water here.
So it's second down. We'll call it 5 here. Owens kind of made a little something out of nothing. Cadet's going to back off showing coverage here. And a little bootleg out in the flat. Caught and brought down for a first down. Nice pop there by Joshua Washington, who I believe is having to play both ways here tonight. But a first down, he's, like you said, the big tight end there.
You see the advantage of having a 6'5" tight end running across the middle. Big target when you're on the move. That's just good play calling. Your back's against the wall a little bit. Team's starting to really dig and come back. Just get the ball to your best player.
So 1st and 10, out across the 30 to the 32. Here's Owens on a straight drop. Boy. And out in the flat, it's going to be caught, and that'll be a first down. You won't see it because the play went away, but Third Scroggins just annihilated the left tackle for Rabun Gap.
And they've done a good job. I mean, they're chipping him. He had 2 guys on him right there. Wide receiver kind of hit him coming out of the backfield, and then he had a tackle on him. But still, that tackle's going to fill tomorrow.
And a quick bubble screen gets snuffed out by BC. Bad throw by Owens, and it'll be 2nd and 10, so more favorable down and distance here for BC.
Yeah, a chance to breathe and get a play call in, too. Those are going quick after that.
So 2nd and 10. Again, no huddle at all for Rabun Gap. Cadets will flip-flop the defense. They'll bring Third Scroggins here to the near side.
I think you're trying to confuse their pass protection a little bit too.
And what do we have? False start on Rabun Gap, so it'll be 2nd and 15.
When they come out, a team that throws the football this much, they'll usually have a running back kind of lined up on the opposite side of where they're going to help, and they'll kind of cross the quarterback's face as the play develops. What you're doing late with third is you're switching sides because they're trying to chip him. You switch sides, you can fuse that pass protection. That might have been what drew that off sides.
So 2nd and 15 here for the Eagles. A little quick pump fake and go. And there's the pressure, and he found a man late and nobody over there for BC. That's that running back coming out of the gap, out of the backfield. He's going to cut back. A flag is out. I think this is coming back. They were holding on the block way back here at the 45. So this is coming way back, but again, give Mr. Owens a lot of credit. He took a shot and found an open receiver in about the blink of an eye. And I think if you watch Big Cam Cody, he said this one's coming back, or he at least thought it was. I thought maybe they were holding on the edge. Face mask against BC, so that'll be declined. I think Danny Britt's like, why are we grabbing a face mask of a blocker?
Right.
As the runner went by. So half the distance on the end of that run. Inside the 5 it goes. 6:49 to go here in the quarter. Clock rolls. And here's a little inside give off the left side. That's going to go for a touchdown. And you feel like that kind of took the wind out of the sail on that drive, that big play with the penalty. And then just a quick give to Anthony Quinn Jr. for the touchdown. 26-17. Trading punches here at Paulson Stadium. Everybody must have taken them a swig of that beautiful Eagle Creek water before the game.
I don't know if Coach Russell ever saw this much passing, though.
Stadium wasn't set up for this. 6:40 to go here, and here's the extra point. BC's already blocked 2. See if they can get another one. Here's the snap. BC coming again, just missed another one. And it's 27-17. Lead stays at 10. And we'll step aside. This is Cadet Football, built by Islands Ace Hardware on WatchBCSports.com.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Vernon Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
27-17, 6:40 to go here before the half. Important possession upcoming as you're trading blows here, Christian Gokel. You can score before the half. You get the ball coming out of the locker room, so a chance to flip the script on the back and forth that we've seen here in the second quarter. If you can stay on, what do they say? Stay on message, stay on script here. And that one's going to be in the end zone. They're going to run it out. Across the 15, Stanley Smart will get to the 19 before he's brought down.
I must have missed a rule change. I thought the rule in high school
thought it was dead, yeah.
if your foot touched in. But
that big return from Radun Gap, they had a foot in the end zone, yeah.
No, Kevin, we got 6:32. You probably got 3 more offensive possessions if you're the Cadets.
Again, a muggy night in Statesboro. It's cooled off since we found the AC button here in the booth, but only for us.
We're doing our best to get it out to you in the stands there.
So here's Stephen Cannon. Big possession here with 6:32 before the half. Bubba Frazier in motion. They're going to bring the blitz. Cannon trying to avoid it. Gets the ball out. Oh, receiver wasn't looking, picked off. And total miscommunication. Picked off by Patrick Williams. And who was that intended for? Never turned around. That was Stanley Smart. And he was running straight up the sideline, never even turned to look for the ball and got picked off.
And that's one of those ones where if you're Stephen Cannon, you got to know. You can't expect your guy to do that. That's so early in the route. You got to just throw that one out of bounds. So
now great field position here for Radun Gap.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Eagles at the 33-yard line. 28-yard line.
Got to kind of bow your back a little bit here if you're the Cadets. Try to force a field goal attempt.
And now what do we have? Timeout BC. And the Cadets want a timeout. We'll take it with them again. 6:26 to go. This is WatchBCSports.com.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Islands Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Islands Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com.
Coming out of the timeout, BC in a tight spot here, down 27-17, and a one-play drive intercepted by Radun Gap, and they're on the Cadets' 28-yard line. 1st and 10, so Cadet defense going to have to bow their backs here.
Yeah, this is a danger zone if you're BC. Got to try to force a field goal attempt.
Here's the inside give, going back to that running game and getting to that second level. before he is brought down by Isaiah Jones.
Tackle for Benedictine by number 17, Isaiah Jones.
And it'll be second down and about 5, maybe 4.
Second down and 4 yards to go.
So second and 4, and now they're trying to lean on you a little bit with the power run game.
It's a pick your poison. I mean, if you're going to sit back and play coverage, they're going to run the football, and if you're going to try to stop the run, they're just going to pick you apart one-on-one.
BC showing blitz. Now they're going to back out of there. Clock runs at 5:50 to go here in the first half. Owen's taking his time, running that play clock down to 4-3. Now's the snap. Looking, winds up, throws to the near side. Going to be caught at the sticks. Do they give him the first? No, they're going to say he was out of bounds when that foot came down. So it'll be third down and 4, and this is a big play.
Yeah, we talk about it. This is the moment you got to have. Just a slight miscommunication there. A little bit late in the pass out on that out route there. And now you have a chance 3rd and 4 to force a field goal attempt, and that'd be a huge momentum swing for the Cadets.
So 3rd down and 4. Cadets going to have to bow their back here. And this is where, with a RPO type team, the playbook's wide open. So let's see how BC plays this. They're going to give to the running back. BC trying to push the play out. It's going to be a first down and more off the right side. It's breaking tackles and in there. Lost the football and got it back for the touchdown.
Oh, man.
Fumbled it, recovered his own fumble, and got the touchdown. Anthony Quinn Jr. with another rushing touchdown, and it's 33-17. And that's how it's gone in the first half for BC. You knock the ball out, he just falls right back on it for a touchdown.
You had a play, try to punch it out of the back, but he was able to fall on as a big play there. 6-point swing.
And now with the extra point upcoming. Oh, they want to say he was out of bounds. BC fans saying before he got in the end zone.
No replay.
But yeah, no replay in high school football. Now the point after upcoming with 5:20. Low snap, dug out, and the kick is up and good. 34-17, and Christian, now a huge possession for this BC offense because, again, you need to score before halftime, and you get the ball right back. So a chance to really take momentum back. But this has been an offense that, even with 17 points, Christian, you've really put together one good drive all half at this point.
And that drive started at the 50. So you got to come out here and just play your game. Get the ball to your best players, hand the football off. I think we've kind of abandoned Stanley Smart a little early in this one, but get the ball to Bubba Frazier, get the ball to Stanley Smart, let them make some plays, and just let Stephen Cannon start to develop some confidence.
Let's see if Radun Gap goes to the pooch kick. Again, are they willing to give up yardage to avoid a return? Although hemmed up BC pretty good last time.
And he should have pretty good field position. Looks like they're setting up for another pooch kick.
Looks like BC's calling for the pooch to the right side. You see Stanley Smart yelling at some of his up men. And they're kind of cheating on the pooch kick a little bit of what it looks like.
I think he's probably aiming at the sticks back there.
And here's the kick. It's a high hanging pooch kick. Going to be fair caught at the 34. He dropped the football. It's kicked around, tipped around. Somehow the Cadets come away with it. Boy.
Brother.
That'll make your heart skip around.
We can't be fumbling fair catches.
Looked like our man Jeff at the roulette table out in Vegas. Popping around out there.
All over.
And unfortunately, it landed on Maroon, and the Cadets got it back. So 1st and 10 from the Cadet 30-yard line. And BC needing a drive. Here's the snap. Here's Cannon rolling, trying to buy some time, trying to get his receivers to make an adjustment. Got to throw it away. Took a hit at the end. And again, just maybe some early season communication, but doesn't seem like when they're trying to adjust the route, they're on the same page.
Yeah, again, I don't know how much you practice that where your quarterback's running for his life all the time with every single route concept. That's just, at some point, you got to get on the same page with your quarterback, or if you're Stephen Cannon, you just got to pull the ball down and run it.
So 2nd down and 10. Cadets will put two backs in the backfield. Now they'll motion one out. Here's the snap, bubble screen out here to Bubba Frazier. Can't make a man miss, and he'll lose 5.
No, and they're just pinning their ears back, coming downfield. They have no worry about you going deep right now.
Things you can do with a 17-point lead.
I mean, it's been the attack since the beginning of the game. That's how BC was able to hit that big play action wheel route, is they're just pinning their ears back and coming downhill.
So 3rd and 15. The snap to Cannon, a little underneath screen play. And ahead is Bubba Frazier. No, excuse me, that's Smart. And it's going to be 3rd down and 4. Boy, you would be tempted to go for this to get some momentum down 17, but you'd give them great field position if you don't get it.
But if you punt it, you're picking up – it looks like they're going to. But if you punt it, unless you get a great punt, it's 25, 30 yards that you're a field position giving up versus having the ball in your hands trying to pick up 4 or 5 yards and pick up a first down.
They will trot out Connor Ferguson here. Rabun Gap will send Walker Bryson, 5'11", junior back deep.
They're in punt safe, basically just 4-man defensive front, but basically playing defense with a guy deep.
And what do we have? Did somebody move?
Delay a game.
Delay a game against BC.
Takes away your choice.
And this is some of the things you would expect to see in week 1. Here's the snap to Ferguson. Puts a good foot into it. Going to chase him all the way back inside the 20 at the 15. A huge punt. 55-yard punt there for Connor Ferguson.
The leg's fresh.
And now if you're the Cadets, can't let any more points happen here before the half.
No, and again, this is very reminiscent to me, Kevin, of a couple of years ago where you go up to South Carolina against a really good football team and get beat. And you learned a lot about yourself. And you're getting some daggum good film right now. Like we said, that Camden scrimmage, I don't know how much film you really got on yourself. This one, it's going to take a few days for the coaches to get through this and make all the annotations they need to make.
So 1st and 10 for Rabun Gap. And they'll put a couple of men in motion, flip the formation here. Here's the snap. They'll try to come back to the backside, and Owen's going to tuck it, and he'll be brought down. Who got him? I think 3rd Scroggins there in the pursuit. Maybe a half a yard on the play. And that shows the athleticism of 3rd. As they were trying to flow everybody to the near side, and they were looking for the throwback, and 3rd tracked him down.
I think more so than anything, they're trying to milk as much of this clock. 4-minute offense style right here. Trying to get in the half without letting BC touch the football again.
So here's Owens on 2nd and 9. Looking here to the near side, trying to go for a double move. They throw underneath, and there's the tight end, and that'll be a first down. And Christian, I know you are a big fan of concepts and just smart football. That time Owens was looking at the outside receivers, and at the last minute, the trust in the concept, look back, boom, he knew the crossing route was there and caught him wide open.
I don't know if he knew it was there or it's hard to miss 6'5" running across the middle, but it's the same idea. That's why they run it. That's that safety valve.
And here's over the top too far.
It's good coverage.
Owens wanted a pass interference, not going to get it. That'll be 2nd down and 10. And these next 2 downs so huge for the Cadets here.
Yeah, I mean, got to be thinking run right here. Probably going to try to, again, milk the clock and make it a more manageable 3rd down. But if you get the ball back here, just give your offense a shot.
And you can see those BC defensive linemen hands on hips. You can tell the difference in the guys who are playing and the guys who haven't played and how dark those jerseys are getting there on the Cadet sidelines.
It is not cold out there.
And here's the snap. They'll read it into the belly, and now a flag false start going to be called against Rabun Gap. It'll be 2nd and 15.
That's big.
2:07 to go here So that'll back him up. That was just going to be the straight belly read.
Again, you see the thought process is if you pick up a first down and pick up some good yards, it's great. But also, regardless, you are going to have that clock running. Now you're back 5 yards, clock's dead. Cadets with a chance here.
Yeah, either way, you can tell Raven Gap's not wanting BC to touch the football again. And like we said in the last session, give them a chance to maybe do a 2-for-1 with the ball the next half. A little double move, wide open up the right side. Nobody. Carney dropped the football. And Angels in the outfield for BC up the right sideline because
he was too open.
There was nobody within 10 yards.
He was already thinking about what the celebration was going to be.
And it's 3rd and 15.
And just miscommunication. Again, you wonder how much you're missing Mekhi Williams right now at that free safety spot.
You see Wyatt Easterbrook say that was my fault. But, yeah, there was nobody in coverage over there for the Cadets. 3rd and 15. And a big play for this defense right at the 2-minute mark, 1:59 to go. Here's Owens looking for the throwback bubble screen. Cadets read it well, and they'll snuff it out, loss of 2. And that'll bring up 4th down. Willingham lost his helmet.
Quick timeout from Danny Britt.
And Danny Britt calls timeout. And BC will get the ball back with 1:50 to go. They'll still have 2 more timeouts, Christian Gokel. So still an opportunity for AJ DePhillips to try to run your offense. And you say that, your offense has put up 10 points tonight. You got a pick 6. You kind of had a pseudo drive to get the field goal. You got a nice punt off the goal line, and you were able to get down there and get points. But you put 1 touchdown drive together offensively, but with minute 52 timeouts, still an opportunity to run your offense and keep the playbook open.
Yeah, and a chance to run a 2-minute drill against a really good football team, Kevin. And again, I don't know that you've strung 2 good plays together so far if you're the Cadets. I'll take that back. The touchdown drive, you were able to put back-to-back good plays together. You hit the wheel route, and then you find Bryce Baker over the middle. But outside of that, there hasn't been 1, 2, okay, good plays. It's been 1 play, step backwards, 3, 4 catastrophic plays, try to come out and do it again. Let's start with just seeing if you can have 2 good plays in a row.
So 4th down, out of this timeout, Raven Gap going to punt the football.
Man, this is that time of day. It makes Paulson Stadium pretty special.
And you should get good field position out of this. I don't think he's got such a strong leg.
Yeah,
Again,
I mean, this might be the best play in your playbook right now. Just get a free punt to Bubba Frazier.
Certainly not going to be a 50-yarder, I wouldn't think, like we saw from Connor Ferguson. Here's the snap. And it's a high punt, going to be fair, caught at the 37-yard line. I believe that was Josh Washington, and that's where BC will take over. So they've got a minute 43 and 62 yards to go, 63 yards to go, and 2 timeouts. Yeah. Hey, the sunshine out for the first time here at Paulson Stadium.
Minute 43 to go, 2 timeouts. You have your full playbook right now. Just, again, don't try to think about scoring a touchdown. Don't try to think about a first down. Why don't we get 2 back-to-back good plays in a row?
And a couple of weekends from views like this for the Georgia Southern Eagles.
You're not lying.
A lot of people love college football. I don't know if many people are as excited about college football starting as Christian Gokel. Here's the give. This is Smart on a little delayed handoff. He'll get 7 on first down. Not bad. Make it 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
I think moving forward into the season, that's going to be one of those plays that this offense is kind of built around.
So a hurry-up offense here for BC. Here's the snap. And Cannon going to be flushed to his left. Going to wind up, may have to throw it away. Going to tuck it down and lost the football out of bounds. They're going to say he fumbled it forward for a half a yard.
But that's one of those ones where he needs to make that decision about a half second earlier to just tuck it and go. Trying to make too many big plays downfield and just instead of trying to make a play.
And that is a learning process, obviously, for this young man.
Yeah, I mean, even Hoyt Garner back in the day, I mean, the dude, one of the best arms we've ever seen come through this school. But when he had it, you tuck the football and you run.
So 3rd down, big play here for the Cadets. Blitz coming right in the face. He's going to tuck it. Keep going, big man. He turned sideways, had the first down and cut to the right, and it's going to be a yard short. And now BC going to go for it here with a minute 4. Does Danny Britt? I think Danny Britt thinks he got the first down. Clock continues to run, 58 seconds. Fourth down, and are they going to let it run down and call timeout? I think that might be what they do here. So if they go for,
Gap doesn't call a timeout here.
If they go for it on fourth down and don't get it, then you don't leave Raven Gap with a whole lot of time. I think when this runs off, you're going to be less than, 24 seconds left. It's what it should be when this runs down. And Danny Britt, talking to the official now, calls timeout. 25 seconds where they're going to stop it. And now let's see what they do. Again, if you go for this, you leave Raven Gap 20 seconds at, the 46, 47-yard line if you don't get this. If you do get it, here's the problem. If you do get it, you got one timeout, and you got to get, 30 yards to get in Connor Ferguson field goal range.
They have 25 seconds, and they can go the length of the field in about 5 seconds. So I think BC probably punts this football here.
You just need that spark offensively that you've struggled to maintain, like you said. Not much downfield. Not much in the intermediate passing game has been open. Running game has struggled to kind of get going.
I just think for Stephen Cannon right now, really the offensive struggle is you're not taking the stuff that's there. I think the eyes are in the wrong place a lot of times, and that's how I thought made the right decision. Big rush, everybody bailed out in man coverage, lets them a lot of space to run, but you just got to be head hunting for that first down. You're not trying to break it and score a touchdown.
Cadets will trot Connor Ferguson out there. So they're going to punt this football. And as far as football strategy is concerned, probably a smart play knowing you're going to get the ball back to start the next half. And a high hanging punt from Ferguson. Going to take a BC roll and get down to the 1 yard. Oh, nicely touched up. Oh, they're going to call the touchback. I don't know what the rule, high school, if you're momentum carry, but he touched it outside. But that right there was
that was a boot.
54-yard punt by Connor Ferguson. And with 14 seconds, they'll put it on the 20 for Raven Gap. And I would imagine the Eagles probably going to run I don't know if they're a take a knee type team or if they're just going to run an RPO play. And
the way they've been having guys running free in the secondary,
worth a crack?
Yeah, I got 3 shots to score a touchdown.
They just have one timeout. They'll put a man in motion. Here's the snap. A little counter give and try to get the edge. He gets to the next level and a first down and brings him down at the 35. Clock will stop with 6 seconds to move the chains. Let's see if Raven Gap they do. They're going to take a timeout. So now you got a big-time quarterback. You're asking him to throw it maybe 50 yards and make a play with your receiver. You were so used to seeing that from a guy like Luke Kromenhawk last year where it's like, if you're at your 40, you got a shot to throw it in the end zone.
Yeah, I think here we probably see a post-wheel concept. That's what they've really been cooking us on. And it's a cadet staple too, but just a guy from the outside is going to be running hard straight down the middle of the field, and you have a guy from the slot come outside and run down the sideline, just try to confuse the secondary. That's just your best shot here from 67 yards away.
So out of the timeout, let's see how deep the cadets play. Easterbrook and Josh Washington are both.
This is where Third Scroggins just needs to tee off.
20 yards off the ball. High snap. Owens going to look. They're just running a bunch of deep routes. Going to wind up and going to tuck it, and he'll run and be brought down by his own man at the 43-yard line. And that will do it for the first half. 34-17, Cadets trailing. And Christian Gokel, a lot to talk about here on the halftime report, brought to you by Bernard Williams. And we will do just that after a tough start. Cadets give up 34 in the first half. They'll get the ball first, but a lot to break down on the Bernard Williams halftime report when we come back here on Watch BC Sports.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
Welcome back here to Paulson Stadium. We're at the half. Bernard Williams halftime report. It is 34-17 of the Irk Russell Classic. I don't know if this would be one the old ball coach would be proud of, as that many points given up in the first half, Christian Coquel. But, for BC, it's been demise of your own doing, busted coverage, and really from a defensive standpoint, not something that Danny Britt, Galen Houston are super excited to have put on tape there in the first half. I know Coach Britt, defensive guy, taken back over into the secondaries this year, and I know you've lost some guys defensively, lost an offensive lineman in this game as well, and you just never have seemed to get comfortable offensively or defensively, seemingly, for very long stretches in this ball game.
No, and again, it's been really all facets: offense, defense, special teams. You've had some kind of blunder on all of those. And Kevin, you look at, let's start on the offensive side of the football. It's been them crashing down the edges, not letting you get anything you like to typically do, right? We talk about the cadets. It's buck sweeps, right? It's some boot actions, stuff like that. They have completely taken that away, and now you're struggling to find that adjustment. Stephen Cannon struggling to stay in the pocket and just make a play from in there, keep scrambling out, and then when he does have the opportunity to run the football, is trying to hold on to it, I think, a little bit too long. And I don't want it to come out and sound like I'm being overly critical of him. I don't think anybody had a positive first half, aside from maybe Connor Ferguson, the kicker punter there for the Cadets. So offensively, you're just not able to find what works right now. And Kevin, I thought you did on the one touchdown drive where they're pinning their ears back and flying downhill. Cool, we're going to fake a screen and we're going to throw a wheel route. Boom, that's there. We're going to do the same thing, a little play action. And we're going to have a guy coming across the middle on a post route for a touchdown. I hope we see more of that in the second half. Just the quick play action, stay in the pocket, and hit something right over that next level. You can't defend every part of the field. They made the choice, we're going to defend right at the line of scrimmage aggressively. You have to be able to throw over that level or run and create a gap. That's where counters, I think, could really be a big part of this offense in the second half. Act like you're going one way, pull that guard tackle, come back the other way, ride that. If you bust through with a defense that's being this aggressive, you can run a long, long ways. So there's stuff there for the Cadets. We see AJ Phillips down there right now with the rest of the coaches. Haven't even gone to the locker room to talk to the players yet because I think they are struggling with the communication to the team right now. And so they want to go in there with a clear and concise message. And I think a lot of it's just, dudes, we got to get out of our own way.
Yeah, and I think obviously at this point, Christian, you've been in a number of locker rooms. Are you talking about what can we execute well at this point? Does it start that simply and say, what can we execute to build on in the second half? Because I think the discussion also, there's a lot of football. You need to score something on that first drive coming out of the locker room.
Well, I think it goes back to fundamentals where it's just like, hey, if we're in cover 4, corners can't get beat deep. It's just, I don't care what happens in the flat underneath, you can't get beat deep. So it's going back to the fundamentals, the things you build your playbooks on, that we have to get that done first, and then we can start to build off of that. Offensively, coming out with the game plan in the second half, it's just kind of be, let's get out of our own way. Hand the football off to Stanley Smart. Hand the football off to Bubba Frazier. Hit some passes that you know you're able to hit. Walk in there. The conversation, if you are having a conversation, which they are, with their quarterback is, what do you feel comfortable with? Number one, what are you seeing out there? Number two, what do you feel comfortable with? If you could call a play, what are you calling? And you just have that conversation with your quarterback. And I think they'll come back out, and I think Danny Britt's going to go in and say, hey, you got punched in the mouth. That's why we do this. How are we going to answer? 0-0 coming into the second half. What are we going to be able to do?
Yeah, they've been in some of these situations before where it's I said, you find out what you're made of as a football team when you get punched in the face, and how do you respond, right? It's not going to be easy every time. And this is a team that I think has had a couple of things go their way, right? If you're Radun Gap, some bounces that have gone your way, et cetera.
Touchdown that should have been.
But how do you bounce back from that and move on to the second half? We've got more to come here on the Bernard Williams halftime report right here from Alan E. Paulson Stadium on WatchBCSports.com.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook. At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
Welcome back here to Alan E. Paulson Stadium. We are at the half, the Bernard Williams Cadet Halftime Report, and we're pleased to be joined up here in the booth by a 2020 BC graduate. Went on to kick at Georgia Tech, now has transferred here to Georgia Southern to finish up kicking. Gavin Stewart joins us here in the press box at halftime, and tough first half there for the Cadets. And I know you've been a part of some of these games where it's like, hey, you got to go in the locker room and have a gut check real quick.
Oh, yeah. I know Coach Britt's getting it right in the locker room right now, as well as the whole coaching staff. Definitely been in those situations, both in high school and college, and you just got to pull together as a team and get it going in the second half, and I know the Cadets will do that.
I know they struggled in a number of phases. We talked about Connor Ferguson kicking, had a 48-yard field goal, punted the ball well.
Yeah.
You fellow kicker, what can you tell us about what you've seen from him?
Hey, Ferguson, he's got some talent. I've been trying to help him out the past few years, just giving him tips here and there every time I'm down there for spring ball. But, I mean, my gosh, he has so much talent. So excited to see what he does in college. Has some great opportunities right now, and he'll continue to get some more. But, yeah, drilled the 48-yarders, having some pretty dang good punts out there. I'm happy for him. Very proud of him. Speak
to the life of a kicker, man. Just what that's like. Everybody wants you to be 100% kicking the ball in the end zone. That's kind of been one of those staples at BC for a long time. Is they've always had guys that can kick the football. And what kind of goes into that process? Because obviously you're on your own at practice. It's like you got to kick, and you just can't kick for 3 hours. But talk about playing that role and what it meant to you at BC.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Whenever I was in high school, I didn't get to focus on it as much as I did because I also did receiver and defensive back. But when I got to college, I really got to hone in on my kicking and kind of learn how to kick the football. I always just kicked as a soccer player. But, yeah, the biggest thing being a kicker is just it's all the mental standpoint. You got to be mentally strong, go out there every single day, kick. Can't overkick and you can't underkick, so you always got to find that fine line in between it. But yeah, it's all just mental game, and it's A or F. You either the kick goes in or it doesn't, or you hit a touchback or it doesn't. So I've enjoyed it, and through the progression over the past 5 years. We're going on to the 5th year.
Playing at BC, obviously you, your brother, a lot of Stewarts going through BC. What did your time at BC mean? And obviously your family being a part of that BC community, what did it mean to play for BC?
Yeah, it was awesome. It starts off grandfather coach there for a very long time. I'm sure many people know the name Jim Walsh. So kind of grew up around the environment as well, seeing my brother, looking up to him as I was a little kid and him playing football, basketball and baseball and whatnot. But anyone who goes to BC knows how strong the brotherhood in the community is. It's every time someone asks about going to BC, I always have such great things to say and how important I think it is to develop me as a young man and build my character. So very appreciative of it.
Speak to the mindset that comes with playing here, because obviously these guys have known nothing but winning. Coach Britt has done a lot of winning at BC, but what's the mindset when you put on that uniform and you play at BC that's kind of been cultivated here the last decade plus?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those things is like once you put on that Benedictine across your chest, like you better play for it. And, I mean, for years to come, that's how it's always been. You just got to play with that heart and mind of having that Benedictine on your chest and just going out there, giving it all, having grit, discipline, and just fighting for your brothers day in and day out.
Started out at Georgia Tech, now here at Georgia Southern for one more season. Talk about that journey collegiately and what you kind of have in store here in Statesboro.
Yeah, so it's been awesome. I've been very fortunate. I was at Georgia Tech for 4 years. Made it out alive for schooling, so that's always good. But yeah, I came down here for my last season. I'm so excited for it. It's good to be back home near Savannah, born and raised, of course. So being closer to my family and whatnot, it's been awesome. I've been getting able to see them a good bit. So yeah, the 4 years has flown by like anybody would ever tell you. So wish I could do it all over again, but I know I can't. But I got to make the most of the last go around.
What's the kind of prospects you see coming out of spring ball? I know the season starts in 2 weeks. What are you kind of feeling here in Statesboro?
Yeah, it's feeling good. I mean, I wasn't here in the spring. I came here this summer, but I mean, this team, they're very together, very awesome. Everyone plays for each other. Reminds me similar to whenever my time at BC, how just like close and connected the whole team was. So I am very excited. We got Boise State kicking off at home 4 p.m. So hopefully everybody will tune into that. But yeah, I'm excited. Got a great team going. We're gonna do some special things this year.
And you talked about the family, yourself, your brother, your sister was a great athlete. What's we know you're here. What's the rest of the family up to?
Yeah, so dad's actually downstairs somewhere. Brother, he's about to have a kid, and then their due date's like in like 10 days.
Oh, wow.
Now. So I'm about to be an uncle. So super stoked for that, of course. Mom's doing awesome. Sarah, she's the head coach for volleyball at St. Vincent's. Went back to her alma mater. So happy and proud of her and what she's been doing back home for St. Vincent's and the Savannah community and everything. So everyone's doing well.
Yeah, hey, good to see you. Hopefully we have a better second half here for BC.
Yeah,
I know they'll get it back. In the locker room, what's Danny Britt? You've been a part of Danny Britt halftime. Are they speeches or rants, or what happens in this situation?
I mean, it's just one of those things. It's I mean, you work your tail off all summer, and it's in moments like this when you feel like you're down and there's not much you can do. You put yourself in a pinhole, but you always know that you can come out on top. Just stay together no matter what happens, and good things will come.
Gavin Stewart, our guest here at halftime. We're going to be kicking right here at Georgia Southern for that last year of college ball, and we're glad to have him along here on the Bernard Williams Halftime Report. We're coming right back here on Watch BC Sports.
Awesome.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
Have I prepared enough? There'll be unexpected turns. When things get tough, I need to stick to the game plan. No regrets. I'm ready. Are you? Get ready. Contact Abel's Iron-On Moore & Associates today and see why they are different. Because nobody ever wishes they'd saved less for retirement.
The honor, The heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBC Sports.
You know, Christian, after a day of the hottest sports in town, sometimes you just gotta unwind.
Yeah, Kevin, and the perfect place to do it, Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings.
That's because Cool Vibes offers delicious pizza, wings, sandwiches, and salads, all with a Jamaican Caribbean island twist.
And the atmosphere is 100% kicked back. No worries, man.
Plus, they're the home of the Oxtail Pizza.
Cool Vibes Pizza, 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah. That's coolvibespizza.com. Cool with a K.
Come on and unwind at Cool Vibes.
Welcome back here to Paulson Stadium. The Bernard Williams halftime report continues on. And again, thanks to Gavin Stewart for joining us here during the halftime report. Hit the transfer portal from Georgia Tech and is now here in Statesboro playing for the Eagles. And as we said, the bright spot in the first half was Connor Ferguson. And obviously, you're down 17. You're going to need more than field goals.
Yeah, and I think if Gavin Stewart had any high school eligibility left, Danny Britt probably put him in the secondary. Say, listen, Connor's got the kicking on lock. We need somebody out there covering somebody. You're down 17, Kevin. There's no 17-point play. So you just got to come out here that first drive and just try to put something together. Again, the goal right now, just pick up a couple first downs. See what you can do offensively that's consistent and then build and extrapolate off of that. I think right now trying to make a comeback in one play, just not going to happen. So just one step at a time, and I'm sure that's what they're telling Stephen Cannon right now. Take what the defense has given you and just keep chipping away. The big plays come when you're relaxed and executing.
Again, just getting you caught up if you're just tuning in. No Mekhi Williams tonight, and you lost two players in that first half. Carlton Hall, big 300-pound left tackle, is out. He didn't even go to the locker room. Neither did Isaac Scott, 6'1", 215-pound defensive end. He went out. Don't want to speculate what their injuries are, but obviously not cramps. And they are both sitting on the sideline, did not go to the locker room with the team. So don't expect them to be back. And quite honestly, don't know what the long-term prognosis is. May not see him at Buford next week. So you've had to go with some younger guys. And just the experience-wise, Christian, Carlton Hall, who sat out most of last year until right before the playoffs, but a 300-pound, big, strong body. And you go with a sophomore as the backup left tackle who obviously did not play a lot last year because you had a bunch of experience on the offensive line. And he gives up 4 inches and 100 pounds and a lot of experience. So you just take a big step back offensively. Now, 5 games from now, if you have to keep going, it'll be a different story. But for right now, Radun Gap, big physical football team, and you're having to make some adjustments both on the offensive line and a defensive front about how to get some pressure from the offside and then, of course, protecting Stephen Cannon's backside.
Right. We talked about it. I mean, these are the games where you're going to find that depth. And I know it stinks that you're down a couple of starters to start off here, but gives you a chance to get some guys in who are going to have to make some plays. There's going to be cramps. There's going to be injuries going forward in the season. Got to find some guys that can step up and make some plays when you need them to. And these are the games right now, Kevin, when we're looking back week 9, week 10, where maybe there's that guy who flashed, and it was the first moment where we really saw him. That's what you have ahead of you here in the second half, opportunities. And, again, it's a 17-point game. BC's got explosive players. You're going to race the lead really quick, but you have to execute.
Certainly do. And, again, they'll get the football here to start the second half. And, again, I think an important drive. You don't want to overthink it, Christian Gokel, right? You don't want to put too much stock in it and say this, that, or what have you. But I think it doesn't have to be a touchdown, but I just feel like with the way it's going, and I think Radun Gap's probably going to be a little more deliberate in the second half, running their offense. You need to put points on the board and make them stay in that flow of the game.
They're definitely going to try to squeeze the clock a little bit, Kevin, and make it a much shorter game here in the second half, reduce BC's opportunities. But, again, you have to take the opportunities that you have. You get the ball to start, take advantage of it, move the football down the field. At the very least, flip the field. Can't go 3 and out. Can't put the defense right back on the field with their offense potentially in plus territory. So, got to come out, execute here. I'm sure they went in. Probably not a script coming out here, but, again, the conversation of what do you feel comfortable with where do you feel like you could put the football? That's what you have to do to start.
Absolutely. So we've got more to come here from Allen E. Paulson Stadium. We'll step aside one more time here on the Bernard Williams halftime report, and we'll get you ready for the second half when we come back here on Watch BC Sports and Cadets Football, built by Island's Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Island's Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Island's Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Tradition, honor, a culture of excellence. This is Benedictine Cadets Football, built by Helpful Island's Ace Hardware, your locally owned and operated Ace Hardware. Tonight, live from Paulson Stadium on the campus of Georgia Southern University, your Benedictine Cadets take on the Radun Gap Eagles, the Irk Russell Classic. Now, here's your hosts, Kevin Thomas and Christian Gokel.
Welcome back here to Allen E. Paulson Stadium as we get ready for the second half. BC's got a little bit of a hole to climb themselves out of. Christian Gokel, they trail it 34-17 here in this one. Although if the second half takes as long as the first half, they should have plenty of time to go back and forth and get some possessions to put points on the board. But out of those 17, you have a defensive touchdown, a field goal, and you really put together one complete drive for a touchdown here in this ball game. Radun Gap's really busted you on the big plays, had a couple of big interceptions, had a pick six on Stephen Cannon as well. So they've had their share of fortune and good luck against this BC defense. But to me, this first drive, you got to go down and put points on the board, or at least get something moving.
Something positive, right? And again, your touchdowns came off of a pick six and then a very quick change. You got the ball at the 50, hit a couple of big plays. Outside of that, nothing consistent really happening for the Cadets. So this is an opportunity to come out, show who you are a little bit, show that you can fit blocks, keep a hat on a hat, hold on to those, and let the guys make some plays. Really haven't seen the running backs have a ton of room yet. So just come out here, show who you are.
So here we go. We got 2 quarters here to get it back together if you're a BC. And again, as everybody knows, it doesn't get any easier next week.
Yeah, I think Buford coming off a loss. Nobody wants to see that.
And here's a fair catch, Wyatt Easterbrook at the 25. So decent field position here for BC to start here in the third quarter. And now let's see what this offense can get going here. And again, Radun Gap has done a good job of just flying downhill. And now BC comes out in the flex bone look. Here's a little give, end around. This is going to be Jack Gannum. He'll get across the 25. Give them a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, again there, though, I mean, just 2 yards and nobody able to hold on to their blocks.
Now BC right back to the full-on spread. Late receiver coming on. This is Karan Hall, 6'4" sophomore that I know a lot of the coaches are excited about. Now they're set. 14 on the play clock. Here's the snap. Cannon steps up in the pocket. Now buys some time. Flushed and stays up the sideline, steps out of bounds. And he's going to lose maybe 2 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Good job avoiding the sack there, but you see you're missing one of your starting offensive linemen and immediate pressure off the edge.
So now what do we have? Timeout, Radun Gap here on 3rd down. Not sure, maybe just in wrong personnel as we get things going. So not even a minute in. And again, Christian, just not a lot of time if you're Stephen Cannon. And I know you had said, hey, maybe a play or two, maybe some happy feet where it's like, hey, not necessarily happy feet, but trying to make a play when one just isn't there and go. But he just hasn't had a lot of time to set his feet and make a play consistently all night long.
Well, I mean, I don't want to put it all on the offensive line. I think he has had some chances to make a play, and the eyes are just in the wrong spot. So it's hard when you're not hitting it to trust the process and sitting there and wait and make a play. But that's kind of what you got to do right now is you got to let the offense come to you. Your guys are going to come open. You just have to give them time. And if you start scrambling out, all of a sudden you lose those passing lanes. So it's a multitude of factors, but right now BC's just got to start with the simple stuff. You got to give your quarterback more than a couple seconds to throw the football.
So 3rd down and 9 officially here with 11:16 to go in the 3rd. Empty back set for Cannon. They run the underneath screen. This is going to be caught. Make a man miss. They'll have the 1st down. That's going to be, I believe, Bubba Frazier underneath.
It's a great call by A.J. DePhillips. Again, you know that defense is pinning their ears back and trying to go fast. You let them come a few yards downfield, and then, boom, hit that bubble screen, or tunnel screen, excuse me.
Here's the give. This will be Smart off the right side, and I think tripped up over his own guy before he gets 3-4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
It's those little things. He doesn't get tripped up right there. That's a 1st down, maybe more. That's one of those guys. You just got to feed him here in the second half. Let him keep going, because if he breaks a tackle, he's probably gone.
Now we have a stoppage of play.
I think he's going to give Bubba a chance to, or excuse me, Stanley a chance to put his shoe back on.
Now I think we're ready to go.
Very courteous of the ref.
2nd down and 6. And normally they'll send you off the field. I think, they had him jump, and that's going to be offsides.
I think that's a false start at the top. I think that was Hall.
Oh, was it? I saw the defensive lineman jump. No, offsides against the defense.
Oh, lucky.
I saw some of those interior defensive linemen jump. So I make it 2nd down and 2. Or 1, actually.
Chance to take a shot here.
So much more manageable situation.
1 yard to go from the 48-yard line.
Now here's the snap to Cannon. Inside gives. Stanley Smart got stood up in the hole, and they're going to lose 2. And that's one where the interior of that line just got blown up, Christian, and nowhere to go.
Everybody slanted inside. They knew it was going to be an inside handoff. That's just sending more than you can block.
So a big 3rd down here for BC.
But again, just 2 yards, full playbook still open here. First time we've seen the I formation.
They'll go I formation, put 2 receivers here to the short side. They'll run the toss sweep. Can they get the hole sealed? And this is Bubba Frazier, 1st down and out of bounds. And boy, they were crashing hard from the backside and almost got Frazier on the handoff.
Kevin, if I'm A.J. DePhillips, I'm running that until they stop it.
And that's just what football 101, the toss sweep. And
yeah, you talk about like where we are too. It's just that's for Georgia Southern for so many years was just that quick rocket toss out of the flex bone.
And here's the snap to Cannon on a 1st down. He's going to tuck it,
run,
and throw it, and incomplete. As you said, maybe had 5-6 yards if he just goes. And that's part of the process. You get reps and you feel more comfortable.
He's going to see that on film because those DBs aren't going to come up and tackle you if they know that you're going to throw the football. you have to force them. They make them make a choice.
So 2nd down and 10. Cadets will put Twins to the top of the formation. And here's the snap. They'll give to Smart. Smart nothing doing. Just, as you said, the run blocking tonight has not been great.
Being obliterated.
And it'll be 3rd down and 11.
I mean, they're defending you with 4 guys in terms of the pass. And so they have 7 guys in the box. They're just able to headhunt.
So 3rd down and 11.
It's 3rd down, 11 yards to go.
And a big play here for the Cadets.
Probably 2 down territory.
I would think so. Cannon looking a little quick. Slant route through it behind. Josh Washington couldn't hang on, and now it's going to be 4th down.
And that's where Josh Washington, you got to slow that route down a little bit. You got to see that linebacker in front of you and just take a step. You don't have to go full blazing sprint. It's just about finding that soft pocket right there. But 3rd and 11 looks like that's a little, or 4th and 11, a little too long to go for it.
Yeah, Cadets going to punt the football. So on 4th down, Connor Ferguson lets one hang high in the sky and going to be fair caught at the 10-yard line. So a 38-yard punt for Connor Ferguson will put Rabun Gap back deep in their own end. 8:33 to go here in the 3rd.
Yeah, now a chance for the defense to show what adjustments they made. I mean, I thought a little bit more controlled offensive possession right there, Kevin. I know you missed that last third, but it was there. So, I mean, starting to find some stuff that you can use, but at the same time, defense now got to see what those secondary adjustments were.
So here is Gavin Owens, big left-handed quarterback, junior for Rabun Gap. Ran the offense very well in the first half. Here's a little give. Nice spin move, gets out of a tackle, and that's going to be 8 on 1st down for Anthony Quinn Jr.
Yeah, this comes back to wrapping up, and BC hasn't done a good job of that at all tonight.
And again, hot, humid.
I asked over and over leading up to the season in all the interviews, Kevin, was it felt like you always had a guy, like a Bryce Baker last year, who, I know we got a quick stoppage here, but you always had a guy that would, things weren't going right, you couldn't get anything going that you could give the ball to or would make a play on defense. I'm wondering who that guy is for this Cadets team.
And again, this is where you hopefully find out. It's 2nd and short. And again, as we mentioned, Rabun Gap in no hurry.
Yeah.
Up 17. They're trying to shorten this game as much as possible. Little out route, a little miscommunication there. And one of the few times they have not been on the same page. And it'll bring up 3rd and short. But again, in this offense, everything's still on the table for BC to try to cover defensively.
I think if BC does have a hope of doing a comeback, they're going to have to fight the clock as well, because incomplete pass, we had 11 seconds run off.
So 3rd down and 2. Owens going to give it straight ahead and spins out of a tackle for a 1st down. And that's demoralizing run there, as you had him, you thought stopped, and he spins out of a tackle and moves the chains.
Again, it's better. You're keeping everything in front of you, but now those linemen and backers have to start making some plays.
You're going to give it to Quinn again, and that time he's snowed under. That's going to be big Cam Cody.
That's what he's there to do. Going quick.
Yeah, they've moved Cam Cody out to end here. So maybe one of those adjustments you hear talk about. And now underneath route is going to be caught. That's so Marshall Pritchett, just a little 8-yard turnaround and catch.
It was a dang 2-yard turnaround, but he's so long that if he turns and falls, it's a 6-yard pickup.
So 3rd down and 4, big play for the BC defense.
3rd down and 4 yards to go at the 32-yard line.
Owens out of a gun. He's going to give it ahead, and BC trying to stop, still grinding those feet. And, boy, the stack just keeps moving. But they're going to say momentum stopped just inside the 35. Will be a 1.5 yards short. Was Anthony Quinn. And I think up 17, Rabun Gap going to punt this football.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Rabun Gap, chances are you pick that up if you go for it. but at the same time, is it worth the risk giving the ball to BC at the 35-yard line if you don't? I'm sure punt safe. Yeah, you just leave the defense out here for BC.
So 4th down, 13 seconds on the play clock.
Oh, they're going for it.
They're going to go
Heavy
for it.
Package.
This is going to be some old school single wing type football. Here's the snap. They're going to come near side. He's going to have the first down out to the 39, and that was Walker Bryson, 5'11 junior.
Yeah, and the clock, Kevin, just melting away now. This drive started with over 9 minutes to go.
Again, that's some old school just power football right there.
Don't know who they're snapping the football to.
So 1st and 10 here for Rabun Gap. And here is Owens. He'll throw it right over the middle, wide open. And he hits Marshall Pritchett again for a first down into BC territory.
Yeah, that's a good learning opportunity there, Kevin. You have a big-time tight end like that. That was supposed to be bracket coverage, but when you do a bracket coverage, you have to keep a guy underneath. I think the linebacker felt like he had to run with them. You got to trust that you have a guy over the top, so you have to sit underneath that tight end. He got a little bit out-leveraged that time. That was an easy completion.
So a 1st down and 10 for Rabun Gap. And now what do we have? Somebody must have jumped. They threw a flag in the Eagles' backfield.
Yeah. Cramping down there for the tight end.
So it'll be 1st and 5 as they move it back.
Big first down and 15 yards to go from the 50-yard line.
And already you see the hands on hips for the Cadet defense. Again, a warm, muggy night. We had rain about an hour before the game. Heard some folks saying we might be in for a shower quickly before this game's over. Here's a give inside, a little miscommunication. Owens pulls it back, throws it short, and nicely read that time. That is Marquis Williams.
Yeah, that was a RPO and just held on a little too long. He got a guy open in the flat, but by the time he tugged it out of his running back's hands, that guy was well covered.
So they'll get a couple, but it'll be 2nd down and 12.
12 yards to go from the 47-yard line.
Again, as you heard Gavin Stewart say, Boise State going to be in here in a couple of weeks.
Big old game for Coach Helton to get started.
So here's the snap to Owens. He'll step up in the pocket, throw over the middle, and did they dig it out?
Skipped. That had to skip off the turf. Oh, they're
going to say he caught it.
Aye.
He dug it right off the turf. Let's see if we get a replay of that one.
Thought I saw some black nuggets.
And, of course, the camera didn't catch it on the replay. They'll bring the tight end in tight this time. Does Rabun Gap on 1st and 10. Oh, inside give. BC there, but he just drags him ahead. Anthony Quinn goes ahead. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, it's the stuff you got to work on there is just when you hit a guy, that's where the momentum's got to stop.
Anthony Quinn, Jr. on the run.
And again, you can see when they do that RPO, there's just bodies pulling and moving in there. And what do we have? They're pointing at somebody. Oh, BC's got a man down. And can't see who it is. Just a little out of gas. We're going to step aside. They tend to him. This is Watch BC Sports, and this is Cadets Football, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Islands Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Islands Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com.
Welcome back here to Allen E. Paulson Stadium. We are in the third. It's 34-17, 3:07 to go. Rabun Gap eating a lot of time off this clock.
We had 30 points scored in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Nothing in the third.
So coming out of the timeout, 2nd and 8. Owens, a little bubble screen underneath. That's going to be a first down inside the BC 20, down to the 15-yard line before he's gang tackled there. And again, just running basic concepts of that offense, and BC's got a lot they're having to cover here.
And they're just taking it's simple math. They're looking at one side. They say, hey, you have a safety back. I have a tight end, a receiver, and another receiver. We're going to take the numbers and throw it out there. It's simple math, and it's working.
So 1st and 10, again, they are in no hurry.
No, just bleeding the clock right now. But still, such quality reps here for the Cadets against a really good football team.
And they'll come near side and,
Good tackle.
Wrapped up inside the 15 at the 14. Brought down by 3rd Scroggins.
Tackle by number 11, 3rd Scroggins, the 3rd.
3rd Scroggins, the 3rd.
7 yards to go.
Love you, Robbie.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7 again. BC just can't get off the field here defensively. And here's the snap to Owens. Owens over the middle, going to be just a little too strong. Good coverage there. That was Zach Maxwell. And yet another big 3rd down for the Cadets.
We talk about it, just a chance to get out there and get some quality reps against a really good football team. That time, Zach Maxwell in man coverage was able to break that one up with getting into the receiver's hands. Really good rep there.
Again, this Cadet defense been out here a long time in this 3rd quarter. Clock continues to roll. 1:22. Cadets have had the ball just the one time here in the 3rd.
Should be a false start, but we got places to be.
A lot of shifting going on, and up the middle, sneaking out is Owens. Flag comes in. He's going to run it in for a touchdown, but this one's coming back. They were grabbing somebody on the inside. Larson Little coming up limping, but let's see who this one is on. And I think Larson Little either fighting off a cramp or he has twisted an ankle. He is hopping off on one leg. And that's another tough loss for BC. Holding against.
Yeah, I think he had a full head of steam and just kind of got pulled and tugged. And when your body keeps going but your leg stays where it is, that hurts.
He's walking okay here on the near sideline, so looks like he'll be able to get back out there at some point. It'll be 3rd and 17 here for Radun Gap.
Yeah, big hold.
Again, they've come way down from the extreme North Georgia mountains to play BC here in Paulson Stadium. Here's Owens, and he's going to fall down. That'll be a sack. Give it to 3rd Scroggins, the Miami commit for BC.
Yeah, it's kind of pushed him down.
Yeah.
It's a one-arm shove. He's all right, if you're going to go forward, I'm going to help you.
And it looks like Cam Cody's going to try to fight off a cramp here.
4th down, already had 2 PATs blocked.
And that BC defense is just gassed. And they're going to run this clock down to under 10 seconds in the quarter. They have held this ball for nearly 9 minutes.
It's like watching a high school basketball game pre-advent of the shot clock.
So 4th down and 17. Here's Owens looking. He's going to just let it fly over the middle. Wide open touchdown. Boy, you can't have that on 4th and 17. And that is insult to injury there, Christian Gokel. 4th and 17, capping off a 9-minute drive, and they lead it 40-17.
Yeah, and again, just another blown coverage over the middle. You cannot get caught with your eyes in the backfield at the safety position. And I know we keep harping on it, but you got to wonder how different that play potentially looks with Mekhi Williams in there.
40-14. And again, you got one more quarter to play and a lot to correct as Buford waits on the horizon, and you've got to make the long bus ride next Friday up to Buford to play the Wolves, a state powerhouse. The kick is up, and it is good. Of course, you still got a trip to Moeller in Ohio coming up. The toughest high school football schedule in the state of Georgia for BC. And if game one is any indication, it's going to be a tough season to keep going. You got to, obviously, cadets are good. They're going to regroup, but you got to play the fourth quarter with some positive momentum here.
100%. And again, we talk about it all the time. You're playing the toughest schedule in the state of Georgia, as you said, but the games, and it's just going to sound like the most sore loser talk you've ever heard, but the games that actually count are region games. So you want to play games like this now. Learn who you are, learn what you don't do well, learn what you could potentially do well. I don't want to take any credit away from Radun Gap. This is a really good football team. It's going to be hard for anybody to beat them. They got all kinds of Power 5 guys all over their football team, a quarterback who can sling the dang thing around. It's going to be hard for anybody to beat them. And then line of scrimmage, they're really good. But for the cadets, again, you are playing a murderer's row of a football schedule. Learn who you are, learn what you're good at.
And again, you're going to see something similar next week. Christian, I think
might be better.
I think you told me 10 starters on defense for Buford are D1 guys.
Yeah, I believe if you do the top 100 players in the class of 25 and the top 100 players in the class of 2026 in the state of Georgia, about 19 of them play for Buford.
Here's a fair catch by Easterbrook at the 30. So we'll be up there in the Wolves' Den next Friday night, and they might be stirred up after they lost to Milton last night.
First down, 10 yards to go for Benedictine at the 30-yard line.
But again, so a very, very, very talented Radun Gap football team.
So second possession of the half comes with 6 seconds in the third quarter. And for Danny Britt, if we talk to him in the post game, it's very simple. It's hard to overcome a 3-score deficit when you get the ball twice or only 3 times. So important possession here for BC. And boy,
see, this is the stuff you can't have.
Had to waste a timeout on a change of possession.
Yeah.
And that'll drive Danny Britt nuts. And again, those are things, Christian, week 7, 8, 9, 10, you probably don't see, but week 1. And you also think
those are also the things where a head football coach is gouging his eyes out.
Sure. And again, most of these guys that are playing last week played 2 quarters and a series. It's probably hotter and muggier than it was last Friday night.
No, not probably.
And I think you're seeing some of the effects of that. Again, you had a couple of guys beaten and banged up here. No Mekhi Williams. You lost your starting left tackle, the second series of the game. Starting right defensive end on the third series of the game. And so that's a lot to overcome here in the early goings. Here's Cannon flushed out of the pocket, trying to buy some time. He's going to have to run. And tucks it out of bounds, and that'll do it for the third quarter. We go to the fourth here at Paulson Stadium. A lot of work to do for the cadets. This is WatchBCSports.com, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Islands Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Islands Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware.
Bowtie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. Bowtie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah.
Welcome back here to Watch BC Sports. We're at Paulson Stadium for the Irk Russell Classic, BC and Radun Gap, and Paulson Stadium has not been kind to the cadets here this evening as we start the fourth quarter. They got a lot of work to do.
Let's see. Understatement of the century, Kevin. Crazier things have happened, though.
So second down and 10 as we start the fourth quarter. Offense just looking for something to get things going. Here's the give to Stanley Smart, and he'll try to get outside, and boy, just gold helmets flowing everywhere. They have not been able to get anything established on the ground.
Well, no, we've talked about over and over again, as you see the frustration there from Smart, is they're just keying on that. It's what they are scheming up defensively to stop, and you just don't have an answer right now. There's no easy passing. There's no quick tunnel screens. There's nothing like that the Cadets have been consistently able to go through. And then obviously the deep passing game has just been kind of taken out of the equation with how quickly they're able to get into the backfield. So right now, just no answers.
Third down and 12. And here's the snap. Bubble screen underneath. This is Bubba Frazier, and he'll cut ahead towards the 35, but the Cadet's going to be 5 yards short. And if you're BC,
I mean, what's the difference between, I mean, he's going to send the punt team out.
Mentally, I think there's a difference, but
between
I understand your point.
48-17 or 41-17.
I understand your point.
I think I'd like to give my offense some more reps.
So here's the snap to Ferguson. He'll punt it away. High hanging punt, fair caught at the 25. And that's where they will take over. Yeah, Gavin Owens, the left-handed quarterback, doing a little research on him real quick. 12 offers. Boston College, Kentucky, Louisville.
Those aren't slouches.
Arkansas State, name another. Let's see, he's got 15. Let's see who else is. Maryland, Virginia Tech, Auburn, Alabama, a little bit of interest, but offers from those schools. And he has run the offense well tonight for Rabun Gap.
Yeah, there's been some open throws for touchdowns, which thank goodness, but I think really run this offense the way it's meant to be run. The really good RPOs, making the right decisions, and finding guys when they're open.
And here's the give straight ahead. Nicely played that time by BC. Tackle made by Colby Brennan, the senior.
Anthony Quinn Jr. on the run for Rabun Gap.
And it'll bring up second down and 9.
Tackle by number 53, Colby Brennan. Gain of 1 yard, second down, 9 yards to go from the 26-yard line.
And you can see the body language there. Timeout. Got a Rabun Gap player down. That BC defense is wore out. They just had a 9-minute drive on them, and the offense went 3 and out and put them right back out there. It's been a long night for them.
I was going to say, they've been on the field the whole dang ball game, so they've earned their post-game meal. But, and Kevin, I think it's about pride right now, just showing what you're able to do. And this is a Benedictine football team that won back-to-back state championships and then went to the semifinals last year and lost to a really good Stockbridge team. I mean, with this one, I can't remember, Kevin, the last time BC lost 2 football games in a row. So, interesting spot that you find yourself in. You're replacing a lot of really good guys that are often playing college football right now. Who are those guys going to be that step up when things are going wrong and just make BC right?
Here's the snap on 2nd and 9, and there's a hit and a sack. Isaiah Jones coming out and bringing a big sack. And it's BC defense trying to stay in it.
Yeah, a little secondary blitz right there, and we got a guy down for the Cadets.
Yeah, it looks like another cramp situation, and you figure that's about to start happening, especially with how long the Cadets have had to play defense tonight.
Yeah, that was a great call by Coach Houston, communicating there with Coach Britt just about what he's able to see. But that's the little things that you're able to take away from games like this is you have an offense that's doing really well against you. You don't stop just because you're down big. You're still trying to scheme to stop them. So, but an excellent job there scheming one up and getting a sack.
While they attend to the down cadet, we'll step aside. You're listening on, good to have you along here on WatchBCSports.com. This is Cadets Football, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com. BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're back here at Alan E. Paulson Stadium. Cadets down big, and it's 3rd down and 15. Need a play here as they help Brennan off to the sideline with the cramps. And here's the snap. Owens looking, and he's going to be flushed out of the pocket. Cadets rolling that way, underthrown. Easterbrook knocks it away. Nice play by Wyatt, and it'll bring up 4th down, and the Cadets get a stop, and they'll get the football back.
As we watch the game clock keep rolling down there, somebody's got somewhere to be. But that being said, I think those possessions right there, it seems small. You're down 41-17. What's the stop really mean? You're able to scheme up a sack, and then on 3rd down where they've been able to pick some of those up, you got some pressure, and we're able to knock down a pass. So I think that's a big-time possession there for the BC defense, something that you can build on.
So 4th down, double safeties back for the Cadets. And again, Radun Gap, not a big punting game, so should get it in pretty decent field position here. And a low line driver going to come down and hit and roll. Oh, they get out of the way and it rolls. And that's what Danny Britt talks about. He said every time you let the ball bounce, costs you 15 yards, and that thing hit at the plus 50, touched up at the 33, cost you right at 15 to 17 yards.
Those are the little things. You got to go flying up there if you're a return man to make those. And also a way, Kevin, to try to steal a possession there. If you're Radun Gap, is you just hit it right in the middle of everybody. Let it hit the ground. Maybe it touches somebody's ankle, and all of a sudden you steal a possession.
So 1st and 10 for BC here from their own 33 as they start this drive. Here's Cannon on a straight drop. He'll step up in the pocket, trying to buy some time, feeling the pressure. Oh, nice little shovel pass. Did they catch it? Did he get a foot down? Radun Gap was saying no. Official saying yes.
It's a very fortunate call for the Cadets.
So Jack Gannum will get it up to the 39. Good presence of mind by Stephen Cannon just to shovel it up there. And now what do we have? Are they going to? This is whatever this is. It is way after the fact.
They're going to overturn it, say incomplete. I think it's the right call, though. Yeah. That's the official who should have made the call to begin with.
I think Danny Britt saying, why are we waiting 45 seconds after the play's over to get to that? But it'll be 2nd down and 10. And again, just not much time to set your feet and make a decision on that play. And they're coming after him again. Free rushers. Cannon steps up in the pocket looking, trying to get his receiver to move, and going to have to tuck it and run out of bounds. He'll get maybe 2. And again, he's just got not a lot of time to even look downfield. And it's hard to.
Yeah, but that time it's a 3-man rush and they blitz off the edge. You step up through it exactly like you're supposed to, but then he breaks out of the pocket. You stepped up like you're supposed to, sit in the pocket. When you scramble out to the side, you cut your field in half. So step up in the pocket, stay in the pocket, and find your open guys.
So a big 3rd down here again. And here's Cannon. They run the bubble screen and just, again, how things have gone. Had it set up and had to kind of jump pass it over the blitzing defenders, and now the Cadets have to punt the football.
Right, and clock keeps running for an incompletion there, Kevin. But it's those little things that you're going to have to correct. You got to get that stuff right as the season goes, and it's just little things like that lead to drives ending like we see right now. It was 3rd and 6. That probably is getting at least 6 yards, keeps the drive going. Stuff like that starts to stack up, and it's the reason why you're down big right now.
Here's the snap to Connor Ferguson. Hangs one up high, and it's going to hit and take a BC roll inside the 20. And, boy, another big roll inside the 15 down to the 12. And that's where Radun Gap will take over 1st and 10. And, again, you're at 7:14. If you can't get off the field, you may not get the ball back. Oh, the clock rolled 5 extra seconds.
We got another game coming up.
Again, this is the first game of the night. You have I think it's Bullock Academy and Portal will be playing. And that one's scheduled. I should start laughing now. That one's scheduled for 9 o'clock.
Oh, brother.
I'm guessing they'll be lucky to start at 9:30.
This is when the guys in the stadium take over the play calling duty, say, run.
And here's a run to the near side, trying to stretch it out, and BC there to lock it up after a gain of 4.
We might be at 6 minutes before the snap of the next one.
Again, Raven Gap, I think at this point is we've done what we need to do, just burn clock. And if we go 3 and out and burn 4 minutes, then we've done our job.
Yeah, it's a daggone good football team over there. We're interested to watch how the rest of their season goes.
And again, one of the gentlemen on defense has already verbal to Cincinnati.
Another one's going to Syracuse.
So you got a couple of D1ers on that side. And
that's like one-stop shopping for recruiting. You just go up there and say, yeah, I'll take one each.
Again, they are I don't know if they're officially a private school. They are a boarding school is their designation, a low snap dugout. And, BC just had him in the backfield, and story of the night defensively. That's going to be very close to a first down. Had him in the backfield for a 3-yard loss and just let him sneak out of there.
For a big first down. Clock rolls while they reset the chains.
First down, 2 yards to go for Raven Gap.
So first game of the season here for BC.
And now you got to figure out how is BC going to respond. Because I think for a lot of people, this is like that. Maybe we're not that good, man. Maybe this is just one of those seasons. But I know Coach Britt and his staff got to use this as a teaching opportunity.
Here's a little rollout in the flat, going to be caught and upended. Nice play, and he's going to stay down. I think that's Zach Maxwell who's still down.
Yeah, sold out.
And that would be a tough loss if he's badly hurt. He's kind of laying on the ground.
That's one of those ones where you hit a guy who's a lot bigger than you. It hurts.
And that'll be up 2nd down and 1 while they attend to him on the ground over there. And this is one of those games, too, where the Sunday morning injury sheet might be just as important as the results of this one.
100%. Now you're just trying to get out of here healthy. You already lost 2 starters to start the game, and you were down 1 before the game. So at this point, 5 minutes left, down big. You're just trying to get out of here, keep everybody healthy.
And Zach Maxwell has been such a key piece of that defensive secondary. And he is up. And I'm sure for the defense, I mean, Christian, they've played, I know we played, 24 minutes a half in high school football, and there's 5 minutes left in this ball game. The defense has played nearly 15 minutes here in the second half already.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they are first in line for everything. Post-game meals, spots on the bus. If there is an open seat, the defender gets it to put his legs up. I mean, it's been all defense. Offense has not done them any favors. I mean, heck, it'd be 41-10 right now if it wasn't for the defense. Even picked up some of the slack when it came to scoring.
I was going to say in the second half, just 3 possessions for BC, no first downs. So it has been a struggle, to say the least. 2nd down and short. They'll wind the clock. And now Raven Gap will start huddling up.
Yeah, they're going to use all 30 seconds here.
We'll name our players of the game coming up in the post-game show, brought to you by attorney Jonathan Dunn. And we'll look to chat with Danny Britt about this one as well. Of course, you can also catch Coach Britt at Bowtie Barbecue every Thursday at noon. Here's an inside give. That'll be enough for a first down. And again, this is football 101 right here. They're just leaning on you a little bit, and you can tell by the body language that BC defensive front is just slap wore out.
And they call it the 4-minute drill, Kevin. You're just trying to bleed clock. I know you see it in college football a lot where it's just you're trying to get out of here. You know a game's over. Just keep executing, keep using up clock, and just try to give it back to them with as little time as possible. Or in this case, you get another first down. If BC doesn't call timeouts, it's probably it.
So a tough night for the Cadets, to say the least. Struggle offensively, some blown coverages on defense led to some big plays. And now a flag comes in, a false start after 35 seconds of the play clock run off. So I don't think the Eagles are too terribly upset about that.
They're still going to run that clock.
So that'll make it 1st and 15. Haven't seen a whole lot of substitutions. It looks like Zach Maxwell back out there for BC, so that's a good sign. You got
like a stinger for him. Good to see him back out there.
You've got Jaden Houston in there at linebacker, number 44. We have not seen Colby Brennan come back in there at linebacker. He's standing here on the sideline, trying to get some fluid in him. And now a timeout for Raven Gap. So we'll step aside. 3:13 to go in this one.
3:11.
3:11 now as they let some time run after the timeout. That's always apropos. We'll come back. This is BC Football, built by Islands Ace Hardware, and watchbcsports.com.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Islands Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Islands Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com.
We're back here at Paulson Stadium, game 1 of the Irk Russell Classic. Again, this is just the first one. They'll have Bullock Academy and Portal play after this one is over and done with. We'll have the post-game show for you coming up once this one's done. It's 1st and 15 with 3:03 to go in this one. And it's been all Raven Gap in the second half especially. Here's a little rollout from Owens. Has a man on that corner route, and a flag comes in late. They're going to get pass interference here on the near side by Marquis Williams. And again, in high school football, that doesn't mean an automatic first down, Christian Gokel. It just means you're going to give up 10 yards, and I think going to be 2nd down and 5. Or will be enough for a first down.
I think it's 15.
So it'll be right at the stick. So
move the chains.
So that was the first down you were talking about, Christian Gokel. The clock rolls, 2:37 to go, and still 32 seconds on the play clock. Maybe they need one more first down.
Yeah, again, just maybe a blessing in disguise here for the Cadets. Get out of here healthy if you can.
Again, a number of guys taking in fluids on the near sideline, cramping up. You got 2 key pieces of an offensive and defensive line that haven't moved off the bench since they've come out of the football game, so that's not a good sign. We see a pair of crutches down there. Don't want to read more into that than what it's worth, but as the plow ahead goes for just a couple of yards, it'll be 2nd down and 8.
I do like having no chippiness, no extracurricular activities going on. I think 2 teams that really respect what the other's been able to do. And I thought pretty clean game. I know a lot of procedural penalties, but both teams able to get out here and get some work done. But I mean, Raven Gap executing on a whole another level.
Yeah, they are very fluid in what they are doing. That offense looked to be in midseason form, and defensively, they just didn't give you a bunch of time to let plays develop. 2nd down and 7. Minute 19 to go in the ball game. Here's an inside give. That one read well by the Cadets that time. Tackle made. I think 3rd Scroggins got in there. Here's that number 51, L.J. Cooper.
Yeah, move under a minute here. I think one more run. That's probably it.
And I think they may let this run all the way down and call timeout so they can get it right on. They know they can snap it, and that's it.
A little victory formation.
36 seconds and counting. They won't have to snap it again after this play. So 3rd down. And here is Owens. They're going to throw it over the middle, caught and hit immediately. But that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Wyatt Easterbrook coming up to make the tackle. And I don't know if Danny Britt would like that one or not.
I don't think so. His headset's off. He's not very happy.
Up 40-17. 41-17, throwing the ball on 3rd down and 7 for a 1st down. And that'll do it. 41-17 to final. Cadets fall. And the first of a just brutal gauntlet of games is over, and the Cadets, Christian Gokel, have some work to do.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you, Kevin, a couple of years ago down in Miami, you're not able to get anything going against a team that had really big dudes on the offensive line, knew what kind of offense they wanted to run, and been executing it for a long time. I think very similar results to that game, Kevin. So just think about Beaufort a couple of years ago in that one. It's just you did not execute. You played against an excellent football team that did execute. When you do that, that's when the scoreboard gets lopsided. So 41-17. I mean, I'm not surprised by the result with as good as Raven County is. I think maybe more so disappointed that BC didn't get a chance to put their best foot forward.
Absolutely. And again, you see Carlton Hall on crutches, number 58 for the Cadets, Isaac Scott. He's on crutches, so that doesn't portend well for the look ahead to Beaufort coming up next week, where the Cadets will go on the road again. And again, I don't know about soul searching, but you certainly, from a execution standpoint, might have to go back and look at what you're going to be able to do offensively to help your quarterback, to help your running game, and figure out how you're going to move the football. Offense today put up 10 points, Christian Gokel. So
yeah.
You didn't move the football. No 1st downs in the second half for you offensively. So I know it's just the first week, but may have to go back to the drawing board a little bit with the personnel losses that you potentially may have going into week 2.
And if anything, Kevin, I think it's a potential reset, almost like a reality check, right? You thought you came in, you're very excited about the season. Everybody's playing against other guys on the team, right? You're hitting each other. Man, that was a good run. Hey, that was a great pass. This guy pretty good on the defensive line over here. You play Camden, you shut them out 23-0. You're feeling really good about yourself. Then you come out here and get punched in the mouth. So I think it's a reality check that there's a lot of work this football team's got to do. You don't just get to put on that helmet and that uniform and make it to the playoffs and go on a deep run. There's a lot of work that goes into that and a lot of building blocks. And I think in this one, you realize there's a lot of gaps in that building right now that you're going to have to shore up.
Absolutely. And again, it's just game 1. Again, most importantly, as Danny Britt will tell you, the ones that matter are the region games. Those aren't going to be any easier. But again, it all builds towards something. As we've seen year in, year out. And Christian, you and I were talking in the offseason with the schedule, and this wasn't just for BC, this was for Ware County and others. I really thought you could see a team at 7-3, 6-4 be in the playoffs. That is a whirlwind of a football team.
You can win the region at 7-4.
Exactly, and could make a big run in the playoffs. So you get it out there on tape. A lot of things to work on for BC, and we'll look to chat with Danny Britt coming up here in the post-game show. Also, we'll name our Cool Vibes player of the game here in just a little bit as well. As we come right back, it's time for the Attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show, led by Attorney Jonathan Dunn. The firm has earned a well-respected reputation as fierce litigators, committed to providing exceptional legal representation to our clients. With over 20 years of experience in the legal field, Attorney Jonathan Dunn has honed his skills and expertise to cater to a wide range of legal needs. Their team is driven by the core values of integrity, compassion, and relentless dedication to our clients' best interests. The Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show coming up when we come back here on WatchBCSports.com.
BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
Welcome back here to Alan E. Paulson Stadium. Cadets singing the alma mater after they do, win or lose, every game here after the end of the Irk Russell Classic. Tough one to lose here, Christian Gokel, as we begin the Attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show. And again, a lot of things to work on. If you're Danny Britt, if you're Galen Houston, you're AJ DePhillips, what's the number one thing that jumps off the tape of we got 6 days, because you're on a short week now. We got 6 days to get ready for Buford. We got to fix this.
Yeah, you got brutalized at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I mean, I think if Rayburn Gap really wanted to, they could have handed the football off every play and probably been almost as successful on the scoreboard. So you really got handled on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Now, can you come back from that and figure out where you're getting brutalized? Because, I mean, offensively, Stephen Cannon took a snap and he had 2 guys sitting in his lap every single time. So you got to figure something out. It might be as simple as, hey, we can't just go 5 linemen, snap it, and have 5 guys out in a route. We have to keep a couple people in, and we're running 3-4 men route if we have to do that. But some adjustments have to be made. And I think football is built to the line of scrimmage. BC got dominated at the line of scrimmage. Now, my question is, how good is Rayburn Gap? Right? How good are they at the line of scrimmage? And could that potentially be one of those ones where you're like, again, I keep going back to the Miami game from a few years ago where it's just you got multiple Power 5 guys that are a whole lot bigger than you on the line of scrimmage. Is that a realistic idea of what's to come in 4A football for you? So you got to determine how good Rayburn Gap is and how poorly potentially you played and go back to the drawing board with a lot of this stuff.
Absolutely. Again, the 1-2 punch out of the gate, Rayburn Gap and Buford, very, very tough. But again, offensively, as you said, we haven't seen it as a part of the game. We did a couple of years ago when you saw the elder Cromanhawk, Matt Cromanhawk, Hunter Dunn, or not Hunter Dunn, Holden Sapp, develop the tight end game a little bit. And if you're going to be down a starter on the left side of that line, do you need, as you said, to integrate a tight end into the situation there to help with the blocking?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where even if it's the H-back, you got to find a guy who's really solid at and able to block and stay in and communicate, because that's what a lot of it comes down to too, is if you're going to leave it back in, it's communication with the quarterback of who he's picking up in that slide protection. So there's a lot of things that you can adjust, Kevin, and I don't think they're going to throw away their entire game plan and what makes them a football team and their identity because of one bad result. It's going back and fixing the mistakes that you made. And I think AJ DePhillips would be the first guy to tell you, like, man, we should have gotten away from some of the things that we were trying to do a little bit earlier. You saw it in the second half. I thought the offense played a little bit better, and we're just, again, a hair away from a couple of plays there, but it's just a whole lot of mistakes, a whole lot of getting manhandled. It's one of those games where it really hurts right now. It's really going to hurt tomorrow, but I think Monday you come back to work, you put on that practice uniform, and it's going to start to sting a little bit less, and you start getting ready for Buford. Defensively,
obviously, same thing. You said you got bumped around a little bit at the line of scrimmage. I thought the maybe bigger concern, and I know they were missing Mekhi Williams tonight. I don't know that he would have made that much of a difference. He would have made a difference.
I think he would have made a difference.
But there were a lot of missed coverages in the secondary tonight as well for BC. Sometimes they just got beat, and sometimes there were guys 10 yards open in any direction, and you just can't have that.
Well, he's the guy back there who communicates that, though. So you lose him, and all of a sudden you have guys rolling where they shouldn't be rolling and missing coverages. And I think that was a big part, especially early in the game, where this one looks a whole lot different, Kevin, if you're not giving up 2 just busts across the middle and when you get in the red zone. So I know it's 41-17 at the end of the football game, but just take away a couple of those scores and that was wide open bust, and you have a running back fumble the ball in the end zone that should not have been a touchdown. It's a completely different look to this football game. So, again, the ball, it's weird shaped, and so it's not always going to roll where you need it to roll, and you're not always going to get the bounces. But I think you fix a few mistakes and you execute a little bit better on offense. You have your starting safety out there. This game could have looked a whole lot different.
And again, a tough one tonight. You go back to the drawing board, and I guess you can fall back as well, Christian, that old kind of sports axiom. You're never as bad as you look. You're never as good as you look sometimes. And so I think BC, as you said, next week might be another one where it's gut check time, but you're playing a small college team, quite honestly, in Buford. As you said, just look at the top 100 next couple of years. 19 guys play at one high school.
Right.
That's unheard of. And there's a reason why people say it's, the University of Buford. It's going to be a very tough team. You go on the road to their place. They're coming off a loss. as well. So they're kind of in that same mode that you are, trying not to start 0-2, trying to figure out what they need to do to get better. And again, I think that's the challenge for the coaches this week is, look, can't hang our head. It's next week. It's strap on your helmet time once again. And I think we've been talking about that all off season. It's week 1 to week 10. If you don't come ready to crack a helmet, this is what could happen.
Yeah, and we've seen this team navigate that before, where they've had some butt whoopings in the past and have been able to come out and adjust and answer the bell there. But I don't know that we have seen Radun Gap and Buford back to back in the postseason. I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't see teams that talented in a postseason run. So it's an interesting dynamic, Kevin. And then immediately after that, I think come home for Burke, which is a region game.
They're no slouch either.
They're no slouch. And then you hit the road and you're in Ohio for the game against Archbishop
Moeller.
Yeah. So it's not going to get any easier. So I think the biggest thing is you got to get healthy. You got to see what that line's looking like right now and see what that secondary is looking like, because you're pretty much missing guys at all levels right now. So you got to get healthy. And going up to Buford, I mean, obviously the goal is to win the football game, but you got to come out of that one healthy because you go into a region game after that.
Yep. You have Carlton Hall, by the way, was carted off on the cart after the game. Like, he was on crutches. They came and picked him up and carried him back. So that's not a good sign there as well. We'll step aside. We'll come back. More to come here on the Attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show here on WatchBCSports.com.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Vernon Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
Welcome back here to Paulson Stadium after the BC falls to Radun Gap here in the opener at the Irk Russell Classic. And joining us up here in the booth post-game, head coach Danny Britt. Coach, obviously a special place for you. Didn't go that way tonight on the field. What did you see field level that we were seeing up here with Radun Gap? They looked awful big at the line of scrimmage. What were you guys seeing on the field?
Yeah, they were definitely much bigger and more physical than I thought from the little bit of film we had. I definitely, kind of underestimated that a little bit off that film. And I don't think we played as physically well as we did last week. And out losing the 2 linemen in the first quarter is devastating. And it's going to hopefully we can at least get one of them back relatively soon. But that was difficult to deal with. I
was going to say you swapped 4 inches and 100 pounds at left tackle. And offensively tonight, obviously you guys have a lot of work to do, I guess, in the next week, but it just seemed like you never could find your rhythm. And Steven didn't have a lot of time to throw the football and had to move the pocket a lot, and just tough to get something going tonight.
Yeah, we couldn't never really get anything going. We've got to, like I said, we've got to be more physical on the line of scrimmage. Again, it was struggling anyway when Carlton went down, and Gavin he got thrown to the wolves, and that was really difficult. So Steven was running for his life the entire night. And, we knew this was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be difficult. Was a little surprised last week, happily surprised. And this week I'm equally unhappily surprised with the outcome and kind of way we played so far. And I'm not talking about insulting the kids like they weren't playing hard. I'm not saying that at all. I don't think we played physically as well as we could have. And I do have to give it to Radun Gap. They were physically dominating.
Defensively tonight, some blown coverages on 3rd and long situations. I know that drives you nuts, but defensively, where do you feel like you guys just missed the ball tonight?
Yeah, no, we really messed up. We couldn't get pressure on him at all. Not even, I know we ended up sacking him once or twice, but he literally was just standing back there ready to pick us apart. So that's difficult no matter what you do in coverage. But yeah, it was just disappointing that fourth down touchdown. All they did was run a switch. They just ran, corner post, and we just got to drop off and switch. We went over it. We go over it all the time. We went over it this week in scout, and we just did not do that.
Special teams, at least Connor Ferguson kicked the ball very well tonight. 48-yard field goal for him. I know last year that was a thing. We said he's got the leg. We got to work on the accuracy. 48-yard field goal, busted it right through there.
Yeah, he did good. I thought he punted really well. So, yeah, he was a bright spot, maybe the only bright spot of the evening. Connor did, and I thought special teams played pretty well across the board. That may be a positive for us.
2 block kicks tonight
as
well.
We did. They were a little slow, and we thought we could get one, and Zach came and got 2, and then honestly, he was so exhausted after that point. Coming after it was really hard for him to do.
All right, Coach, a short week as well because you played on Saturday this week, getting ready for Buford. Talk about getting ready to play them and a team that talent-wise is as good as anybody you'll face in the country.
Yeah, coaches will go back to work immediately the first thing in the morning and work all day tomorrow. The players, need to take the day off. Actually, we've been doing 7 a.m. workouts. I told them we would not do that Monday morning just to try to get their legs a little fresher, and then we'll do our normal stuff Monday and Monday afternoon. But it's a quick turnaround. Got to travel up to Atlanta and play one of the best teams in the country, and we've known this was coming, so we got to just buckle up and go to work and put on our big boy pants and go do it. From
a coaching standpoint, how much do you get better from a game like this? I know it's easy to say get better, but how much do you learn about your program after today's game?
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot. We'll learn so many different things. From hey, physically we got pushed around. We got to not let that happen again, and go to work and do some things. We've got to, then they expose you. Just like the switch route. If you're playing somebody with the quarterback doesn't have the arm to do that, or the line can't protect him, you never see that until much later. So it exposes you. And so here we are, we've been exposed, and we got to go to work and just fix each individual thing and, fall in love with the process. And it can't just all be on emotion and winning. And, it's so much easier to do it after you win. Right.
Right.
But a lot of times you don't handle certain things because you're thinking you're good enough. And it takes somebody like this, a game like this, to show you, no, you're not.
Danny Britt joining us here in the postgame show. Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coach Danny Britt joining us. We'll come back with more here on the Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Vernon Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
Welcome back here to Paulson Stadium. It is the Attorney Jonathan Dunn post-game show here tonight, led by Attorney Jonathan Dunn. The firm has earned a well-respected reputation as fierce litigators committed to providing exceptional legal representation to our clients. With over 20 years of experience in the legal field, Attorney Jonathan Dunn has honed his skills and expertise to cater to a wide range of legal needs. Their team is driven by the core values of integrity, compassion, relentless dedication to our clients' best interests. And tonight, tough one. You heard Danny Britt there. Your thoughts to what he had to say.
I agree. And my biggest question is, how does this team respond to back-to-back losses? I know it's a 2024 and 2023 are completely different seasons, but you end the year last year with a loss to Stockbridge where you got beaten in physical fashion by a very athletic team. You come into this one against Radun Gap, very similar stuff. And I liked what he said at the end there, which is, you learn. This is a team that's a similar talent. It's better to learn this now in the first game of the season than you go up against it in the playoffs and you just don't have an answer for it. So you're going to get some answers in those film sessions. And you're going to get some answers out on that practice field. But how does this team respond now to back-to-back losses? Because this is not a program that's used to losing.
And one of those things that he said that I know probably irks Coach Britt to no end. He's like, hey, we got out physical. And I on the line of scrimmage, and that is something where he's like, look, we take pride in delivering the punch, not taking the punch a lot of times. And obviously he felt like they did not give the punch tonight.
Yeah, it irks you, but again, when you go down 2 linemen to start the game and
True.
you lose 200 pounds, you're already at a deficit. That deficit just got a whole lot bigger. So it's one of those things where it's a give and take, but it's the effort. And I think that's why he came in, and he's not breaking chairs in here, and he's not punching walls or anything. It's the effort was there from his football team. It's just the lack of execution. That comes back to preparedness and going back and getting ready for Buford.
All right, Christian, time for our Cool Vibes Pizza Player of the Game. You and I talked about it, and really with the struggles, and we talked about it with Coach Britt, the one guy that was consistent in all facets of his game. Connor Ferguson, a 48-yard field goal tonight, several 50-yard punts, 2 or 3 touchbacks in the end zone. He was on his game tonight, and he's our Cool Vibes Pizza Player of the Game.
Yeah, I think he's an absolute weapon. And the one of the kickoff returns, I'd be interested. I don't know if it's because it was a North Carolina team playing a Georgia team, so maybe the kickoff rules are different, or maybe they've completely changed them this year. But the running back very clearly had his foot in the end zone on that kickoff. I thought that should have been a touchback, and he ends up taking it into BC territory, and they score a couple plays later. So I thought he's a weapon, man. He can flip a field for you punting. He pretty much eliminates the kick return game by putting it into the end zone every single time. And then when you're in high school, just having a kicker who can hit PATs, as we saw tonight, is extremely valuable. Having a guy that can hit a 48-yard field goal is almost unheard of. So for him to be able to go out there and do that consistently, I think very well deserved, and probably not the last time he's going to be the player of the game.
And so he is our player of the game. We have one more post-game award we're going to do each and every week. Christian Gokel, the stacked firewood delivery defensive player of the game. And tonight they played a lot of football, which I know Danny Britt doesn't want to do. I think he'd rather play more offensive football than defensive football. They played virtually the entire second half. With the last drive, again, they gave up a 9-minute drive and a 4.5, 5-minute drive to end the ball game. So that right there is 14 minutes in 2 drives. You play defense, and there's another possession. So almost 2/3 of the second half, you play defense. Tonight we go with Zach Maxwell, a couple big stops on defense. And of your 17, he had a pick six, 42-yard interception return for a touchdown to get you on a scoreboard. I believe it was the first points of the game for BC, and try to get things going there.
Yeah, I thought Cam Cody played a good game as well. He was able to track some guys down from behind from his nose tackle position, just make some effort plays. Third really came on there in the second part of the first half and was making some plays there in the second half as well. But just effort, getting some pass breakups, getting the big pick six, being in the right place there in the first half. And I say effort, I mean, just sticking his nose in against some guys that are probably 40, 50 pounds bigger than him and making tackles, getting hurt and coming back out the next play. I mean, that's the kind of effort that you can build off with this defense going forward when you get Mekhi Williams back in the secondary. So, yeah, I think very apropos that we talk about the stacked defensive player of the game, and it's a guy who is out there putting up points defensively, making hits, stopping the opposing team. I think a very, very, very deserving first stacked defensive player of the game here.
So we go from one college campus to a high school that feels like a college, University of Buford next week. Again, top program, went 10 straight years in the 2000 teens of playing in a state championship game. They didn't win all of them, but they won a lot. But played in 10 straight state championships games at multiple classification levels.
4 different classifications.
Yeah, 19 top 100 players next 2 years played there. Virtually their entire starting defense is D1 commits next week. So it doesn't get any easier. You got to strap it on and get ready to play. And if you're a high school guy, if you don't get excited to play the Wolves next weekend, I don't know what's wrong with you. That is a quality football team and one of the best programs in the state.
Yeah, one of the best areas in the state to produce talent. I mean, it's right down the street from Athens. So just a quick stop for Kirby Smart and his staff to go out there and recruit guys. Where they got KJ Bolden out of there last year, the nation's top safety. So it's what Dylan Raiola moves in from across the country, plays a year of football there before flipping from Georgia to Nebraska. So it is a storied program. They win a lot of football games. They go get some really good players, and now you're going to get a chance to see a lot of them coming up on Friday. But I think it's a chance for the cadets to come out. Everybody's going to think you're going to lose 50-0 next week. I mean, if our friend John Nelson was thinking about broadcasting that one, he watched this one tonight, and he's like, I don't know if we can do Buford again, especially people going to be turning it off at halftime. It's a chance for BC to come out and prove some people wrong.
Absolutely.
And come out, flex some muscles a little bit, make some plays, just get back to what they do well, and come out and play a quality game next week.
Yeah, your championship programs bounce back and bring it. And I think that's what you're going to see from BC next week. So we'll have it for you back on a Friday night next time from the Metro Atlanta area up there in Buford, 7:30 with the kickoff. Christian Gokel and I will be on air with the Barnes Catering pregame show at 7 o'clock there from Buford. And we look forward to seeing you there next week. Don't forget the Danny Britt Show coming up on Thursdays at noon at Bowtie Barbecue. If you can't join us, shame on you. Go out there and get some great food. But if you can't join us right here on WatchBCSports.com and the Watch BC Sports YouTube channel, you can catch the Danny Britt Show every Thursday at noon right here. And we look forward to that as well. We'll see you next Friday from Buford, game number 2. I'm Kevin Thomas. He's Christian Gokel. We'll see you next week right here on WatchBCSports.com.